Good morning, everybody. Hi, Dr. High. That was pretty cool. That 30 seconds went so quick, though,
Yeah.
man. I was like, damn. I'm like, that didn't even feel like 30 seconds. I don't even think anybody got here. Hi, whoever that is. One person got here. Did you get to see it? Did you get to see it over there? All right. Well, good morning, everybody out there on Live 365 and tune in. Thank you so much. Stick around. We're going to be here for the next 2 or so hours hanging out with Dr. High. I got a bunch of stories that I found throughout the morning. Hi, Kelly Collins. How are you? Good to see you, sweetie. I have an emailed in question, if I can remember it, because I deleted the email by mistake, but the bug just got in my face. But yeah, I told you I'm not good. I went to move it, and next thing I know, I can't find it. I don't know. It's gone.
Funny.
But and Mrs. Hippie's at a funeral, so
that's always
yeah. So she had to leave bright and early this morning and left me high and dry. I had to get my sister off to school. I had to make sure she was ready and good to go, and just extra stuff that I wasn't prepared for. But I knew she told me last night, she said, I got to go to this funeral. And I said, I totally understand. You're a good friend, you know?
Yeah, because nobody ever wants to go to the funeral.
Oh, hell no. I won't, you know, she was like, do you want to come? And I was like, no.
Oh, please.
Please. Yes, I want to get dressed up and wear a suit and cry in the back corner because I don't even know the person, but that's the type of person I am, is that I cry at people I don't even. If I went to a funeral right now of somebody I didn't even know, about 20 minutes into it, I'd be bawling in the back corner. The sadness just overwhelms me. It's because of my PTSD from my mom and my grandmother dying in the same week. And
that must be Mrs. Hippie.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Hippie. How are you? How's it going? Did they make you sing?
Did they make you sing?
She said that she might have to sing if I couldn't sing for her. I'm not going to sing because we might be live in the whole, you know, she might be streaming us live right there at the funeral.
Right there at the funeral.
She's not the sharpest tool in the shed, Mrs. Hippie.
A little comic relief to the program.
Yeah, let's cheer everybody up and put the hippie on.
That's funny.
Anyway, so I went to the dispensary. What a trip. Oh, my God. Everything that you suggested was there. The only thing that disappointed me was the one that you suggested, the half grams. They only had one left, so I was going to pick up a couple. I threw the paper away, so I don't remember.
Okay.
Well, and that was one that I ended up giving to my daughter as a parting gift, so it's okay. I'll get that one next time. I think it was the Compound Z or whatever we called it. Compound Z.
Compound Z. That was a big one. It was like 86% or something.
No, I made sure I didn't give her one with the good percentages. It was like 76%, I think.
Oh, maybe I'm confusing it with another one. I
could be totally wrong. I mean, I have the packages for the other ones over here if you want to go through that, but we have so much stuff to talk about. Oh my God.
Well, that's good.
I hope you have a lot to talk about. So Mrs. Hippie, do you remember that email? Are you still there? Because Mrs. Hippie was the one that received the email about it's a child with autism.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, very much into rock and roll. If you get what I'm trying to say,
yeah.
Well, but they used to call us rock and rollers back in the day. Great kid, nonverbal. They're looking for something to help with the head banging and you know, and just slowing them, calming them down. I said, listen, I've been learning from Dr. High. I think it's a 1-to-1 CBD THC combo.
Well,
look for wait until I'm finished misdiagnosing, and then we'll correct her. And then I said, I think we're looking for like White Widow or Charlotte's Web or something to that effect. Now, how good did I do on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, you suggested high CBD to low THC, which is where you want to be with a child. And you'd really only want just a tiny bit of THC because it works better when you have both, right? Like it has a better effect than a than just like straight CBD or straight THC. It's the combination, like entourage effect, which is good. So yeah, but autism, I mean, I've only dealt with somebody with autism one time, and it was a young boy. I think he was about 14 years old, but he was a big.
Yeah, he's the same age bracket, puberty up a little bit, maybe just after puberty kind of stuff.
Well, he was a big kid, and his mom was a nurse, and he had the rage disorder. So with his autism, he would become angry and violent, and he was big enough to actually hurt people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
all the kind.
They were concerned. So somebody had
some great people in there. Unfortunately, it's not the rage, DoktorHigh. It's the fact that they probably can't verbalize or they can't get across what they're trying to say, and then they get angry.
Yeah, like I get it, right? Like, I'm not criticizing it at all. It's just simply
no, I know. I'm just,
you know what I mean?
I've worked in the field. I've worked in the field for quite some time, and
no other way for me to say it, really. So, but
I understand. I'm not correcting you. He does get angry and rages out. I've seen it. I've seen a girl get her nose bit off and dragged down the hallway by her hair. Yeah, I've seen it all. I mean, when I worked in because I'm a big guy, I was more like a security guard in the classroom, and good morning, Deanna. How are you? I was more like a security guard. I mean, I had my 3 or 4 clients that I would work with every day, but if something went down, I was the first to respond in my classroom, because I was the male. There was 2 females and myself, and they tried to put that with every classroom so that you had a male presence to help control any situations that may have arise. Now, where I work, these people were older. They were, it was not children, it was adults. And a lot of them, I don't know if you've ever heard of Willowbrook. It used to be in, I think, New York, but don't quote me. I'm pretty sure it was in New York. But Geraldo busted into there in the 1970s with his big Buffy Buffon hair, and he climbed through a window with his camera illegally and started running through the place, showing video of how these people were being mistreated at this place. So that place ended up getting shut down because of Geraldo. Geraldo, thank you so much for taking care of those kids. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. But long story short, after they broke up Willowbrook and a lot of these clients got separated and moved to different locations throughout, I guess, New York for the most part. And a whole lot of them came to the place where I worked. I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but where I worked. And then, so I had a lot of those clients. Well, those clients were mistreated very badly in Willowbrook. And from what I hear, and I remember, I understand from the stories. And so they were very difficult because they were kids then, and they were being mistreated throughout their whole childhood. And then by the time they are now adults, they're not, it's like the prison system, I think you would compare it to, like they've learned their environment. They learned their environment, and so they were food stealers. They would take, like if you turned your back, they would take your food and eat it before you could even catch them. You'd be like, oh, there goes my sandwich. And the guy would have it halfway down his throat, and I'd be like, oh, there goes my lunch.
Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Alicia.
Anyway, that's another whole story. So, I've dealt with that kind of crowd. And like I said, in that one place I ended up having I don't want to say the worst guy. He was a great kid, but I call him a kid, but he was probably my age, at that time. But he was, he was just misunderstood and, like abused, not, by the staff at Willowbrook, I guess.
No, I know it's sad, but these things happen. You know what I mean? It's not cool that it does, but people are abused. I mean, you have people who will sexually abuse mentally handicapped people and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I know. I worry about it every day. I have a sister, and I never know. You know, and she can't even tell me if she's being
Yeah,
abused. I
because
have to have a doctor check every 6 months and say, "Hey, she's okay," you know?
Yeah, they might not even know
Thank
that
God I don't think that it's ever happened, but she couldn't tell me.
yeah, exactly, and they don't even know that it's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't even know, and I'd imagine no matter what your state of mental capacity, at some point, you have some kind of sexual awakening. I would think, you know what I mean, that there'd be some sort of pleasure attached to those areas of the body, no matter what. So I don't know. I mean, kind of
Yeah,
crazy,
I
but
guess. I mean, my sister, she's a horny old lady now, but I don't know if she knows anything about it. Like, like she knows that she likes guys because she's always been after my friends all my life. Like they're always her boyfriends, She's like,
right.
"Oh, Steve, I love Steve."
That's
I'm like,
funny.
"Oh." So Steve unfortunately had to die. I have to kill off my friends and family every once in a while because she over perseverates on
Right,
things. So like I'll be
right.
like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Steve passed away in a car accident." And then she kind of stops talking about Steve for a while, and then she'll see Steve, and then she won't remember. She'll be like, "Oh, Steve, yay!" And she just, we just go on. It's the same thing with the circus and Christmas and Easter.
Right,
Santa Claus is dead. Santa Claus is dead right now. I can't deal with
right.
him anymore. He's dead. He died. I'm sorry, guys. If you didn't know, he'll be back. He'll
Oh,
be
that's
back
rough.
around December, early
That's
December.
rough. Well,
It's fun, but it's horrible.
back to
Easter,
the
all the major holidays.
right.
She's so much fun. I love her to death. She's my baby sister. We're like twins. We were born the same year. So she was born. I was born in March of '71. She was born in December of '71.
Okay.
So yeah, so she was born 4 months premature because of a car accident.
Uh,
Or 3.5 months, something like that. And they had to take
back
her
then they didn't have
early.
technology. Yeah.
She actually has brain damage because the umbilical cord broke between her and my mom, and she lost oxygen to her brain while they were trying to take her from inside of my mom. She was born at less than a pound. So,
Yeah, and back
she's a
then
miracle.
technology, yeah, it
Yeah.
was different.
Yeah. She's got scars all over her forehead and head from the forceps that they were trying to use to get her out.
Right.
And then she was in the hospital for like a year before she even was able to come home because she was a pound. She was born at a pound.
Oh,
So,
it's brutal.
you know what that means. Where was I? Sitting on the stove by myself.
Yeah.
Anybody home? Anybody home?
Yeah.
Hello? I'm the
Yeah.
baby too. I'm a baby. Anyway, that's my mental illness. Ah!
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right. So, autism in Canada. This boy had rage disorder. His mom was a nurse. I approached the doctors I was working with about this situation, and the doctors would not prescribe to this young boy. The doctors didn't want to touch it. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, he was like 13, 14, something like that. And yeah, the doctors wouldn't touch it. So what we ended up having to do was get his mom through as a patient, as a cannabis patient, so that she could access the medicine, and then, whatever happened with it from there happened with it from there.
we
Right?
don't know nothing.
Yeah, that's it. So I arranged that entire
But
process.
that was a long time ago, right, DoktorHigh? That was not
That
yesterday.
was maybe 6 years ago. Maybe 6 years.
I think you're a little off. But anyway,
No,
go ahead. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
that's about-
Oh, look at this shit. We got a paragraph. Are you reading it? Because I'm not. I got sunglasses on.
Oh, that's good. That's a good story, man. I mean, some of it's not good, but it's good that you have that mental fortitude, Chris. That's a tough thing
Yeah,
to
well, that's what
overcome
I mean.
sometimes. The biggest challenge.
I learn more of that every day, and it's unfortunate it's taken me this long to realize that you just got to go for it. And I was always anxious and anxiety filled about everything in my life. Still to this day, I'm anxious and anxiety filled, but I'm really trying to break through. And this trip that we're going on is getting bigger. More and more people are coming. DoktorHigh is going to get smuggled in from Canada. No, he's not. FBI. No, he's not. He's staying home.
I have a very healthy fear of America.
I always say stupid stuff on the air.
You know what I mean? Until you see those charged documents where you got a whole country versus you.
I understand. We are having a great day. Facebook user.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks. Hope you're having a good day too. Yeah, so there is some preliminary scientific evidence that suggests that medical cannabis, CBD, may have potential benefits for people with autism. The studies are indicating that it might help manage the anxiety, sleep disturbances, and repetitive behaviors. But there's very little clinical evidence at this point. It really hasn't been studied.
Don't take this the wrong way, everybody. All right, I'm gonna say something. Mrs. Hippie's probably gonna beat the hell out of me. Luckily, I'm a soft, fluffy, pillow-ish like item, so it doesn't hurt as bad as it looks. I think that if somebody is headbanging like that, that an indica would definitely help no matter what. Like if you get them baked on a good indica, I'm not headbanging. I'm sleeping. I'm relaxing. I'm laying back, you know? I'm chilling.
It's a kid though, right? So we don't know. We don't know because it affects everybody differently, right? Like there's the general pattern of cannabis, right? But each individual experiences it a bit differently. And because there's already something going on there, it's hard to say exactly what'll work presently. Like the little bit of evidence out there talks more about CBD than THC, but the logic seems to suggest if you put them in that state of relaxation that they may not be active. So I understand the point you're making 100%. I just don't know whether it would be
right. And the next thing I'm trying to say is there hasn't been enough testing. But when the fuck are we going to start testing? I mean, I tested it all my fucking life, and I'm as crazy as a fucking loon. What the fuck? And I'm still alive. Start sharing the wealth. Give it to these people.
Legalization.
Help them for crying out loud. I hate watching kids
that legalization.
Yeah, I watch that. They stim and they hurt themselves. It makes me nuts. I want to stop them. I want to help them so bad. I love them.
What's a Stargate? Do we want to get into Stargate?
I think we're boring them. That they've lost track of what we're talking about over here. I don't know. Who is that? Identify yourself.
That's funny. And Lori watched that movie. I watched that movie too a couple of weeks ago. It's a true story too, which is kind of crazy.
Cocaine Bear? I've heard of it a couple times. People were telling me it was great. I haven't seen it yet.
And Lori, those images are available for you now. I got them up yesterday. So those two images that you like, they're there and ready.
DoktorHigh, I don't know how I got this image. If you want it back, you can have it back. I don't know how I got it. I was in my folder.
It's on Etsy.
I went there. All right. Well, I stole it somehow.
Your skull is safe.
I'm gonna say Mrs. Hippie probably stole it because I don't know what I'm doing.
That's a great color.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know if when I get to Quebec, I'll decorate my house with my own images. You know,
she put them on shirts. She says,
"Yes,
those images can go onto shirts."
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Dumbass. I'm putting that one on a shirt. What a silly question, Lori.
Any image can be, especially now, it's so easy, right? Because you can open a free Printful account or Printify. Doesn't cost you anything to open the account. And you can do print on demand stuff, which is exactly the evolution inside of Etsy for me. I'm going to take some of those images and turn them into physical products. But that's what I was saying to Lori yesterday. once it becomes a physical product, it's very expensive, especially for those pictures. You know what I mean? Once they're,
we should have
like,
talked
all
before the show,
stretched
Dr.
frame.
High,
What's that?
because we should have talked before the show. We
What?
would have known that your picture in the background and my picture here were going to clash. Move your head.
Wow.
Yeah, move your head. See, it's like different colors.
Yeah.
Beautiful photo. But I would have
all part of the same series, though.
I wouldn't have went with the bright colors today. I would have went with the darker color if I would have known you were going to be so bright over there. Uh-oh. Holy shit. Dr. High, look at what time it is.
Oh, you got it today. You're on the money.
If I can find our song.
Let's get it in.
I got it.
And then I want to talk about the Stargate, because I'm a big believer.
All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to Dr. High and Hippie over here, hanging hard. Did you see that this morning? I named the song Hanging Hard.
Oh, no.
Hanging Hard with the Hippie and Dr. High. Everybody waking up with morning wood.
No. Pretty rare anymore.
No, taken care of already. Hey, Mr. President, more than half your residents smoke pot. You should increase the tolerance, because we just want to sit around the house and watch TV and know that we are free. Let's smoke some pot, smoke some pot, smoke some pot. Come on, everybody, let's smoke some pot, smoke some pot, smoke some pot. Come on, everybody, let's smoke some. Wait a minute, where am I at? You're in America the Free. Well, why are the joint then? Nope, you can't do that. Why not? Because you're not truly free. Oh, I see. Well, I'm free to buy tobacco and beer and they tax it. They should do the same thing with marijuana. Well, I agree with you. Well, maybe someday they'll figure it out. I'm here to flip the switch, make all you geezers twitch, so I can be myself and not be Uncle Sam's bitch. P-O-C-M-U-S-I-C is my J-O-B, and I represent the folks who like to smoke weed, and like me, they believe that we are not truly free. So I'm being funny, I don't hurt anyone. I'm making jokes while ganja smoke's not doing shit but having fun. If you don't like the way I sing or make fun of the clothes I wear, I don't give a shit. Now let's smoke some pot, smoke some pot, smoke some pot. Come on, everybody, let's smoke some pot, smoke some pot, smoke some pot. Come on, everybody, let's smoke some.
You like this song? You like this song, buddy?
It's weird how that dog's hanging out the window.
What dog?
Your
Oh,
dog.
Okay, men. This
I
is
tell
your
you, man, I
time.
love this dog.
Maybe you didn't choose this.
You know, because the window's there.
You're gonna
Looks
go
like
out
he's
there.
coming in and out of the
All-star
window.
Caregiver. It's up to you.
What the
So
hell
what are you
was
gonna
that?
do? You're gonna go grocery
I don't
shopping.
know. I didn't hear
My
anything.
phone,
You
my
never
phone
officially
just
and
went.
physically. Gotta dig deeper. Drive them physically.
Maybe you got money.
That's, that's Lori.
Pharmacy.
Must be.
No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Cha-ching,
This is your
cha-ching,
time
cha-ching,
to show the world,
cha-ching,
your
cha-ching,
family,
cha-ching,
and
cha-ching,
yourself
cha-ching, cha-ching,
that
cha-ching,
you're tougher
cha-ching.
than tough.
Everybody go on over to DoktorHigh.com and pick up some of his art. It's only $2.40 or something like that.
Caregiving is tough.
Download it and turn it into beautiful pictures all over your home, your office, your store, your dispensary, your
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick.
bathroom. Nothing like sitting and looking at a beautiful bud while taking a dump.
But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in
That
6
wasn't
kids in the
Lori.
US are hungry. 1 in 6. That
A
little girl
spaceship.
sitting alone at the playground.
All right.
She can't
Who is
play
that
with
over
other kids.
there?
She
And
doesn't have
what
the
mushrooms
energy
are
because
you
she's
on?
hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's
Penis
something
envy?
that Feeding America is working to change.
'Cause
Each
you're
year, the
tripping.
Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need.
Let's
Being a
smoke
kid should be
some
about
pot.
using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, hippie, look at this beautiful crystal sphere I got from Bella's Badass Crystals.
Look at this big vagina I got.
OMG, hippie.
It doubles as a worry stone.
Bella's Badass Crystals is on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
You can also check out their sales. They have mini Mondays and twice-a-day Tuesdays.
Find Bella's Badass Crystals on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
They are badass.
Hey, it's me, Mrs. Hippie. Check out Vern on TikTok at You Have Me Hooked. She's amazing. And everything she makes on TikTok, she sells at You Have Me Hooked 23 at Etsy. So you can watch her make it and she'll make personalized stuff. So if you have an idea, like I would like this thing made, she can make it. She can make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out at You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Chuck over at Collins Painting LTD. You can find them over on Facebook. They're in Ellensville, New York. Wow, what a great team over there. Really amazing and always supporting us here over at WTHC.
WTHC. Good morning, everybody. 10:25. Happy 420 to everybody out there over there in the Netherlands partying and partying hard. It's probably like getting ready for happy hour, 420. Woohoo! Anyway, we're here. We're hanging. I'm sorry, Dr. High. What?
I said heading down to the red light district where all the fun is.
Yeah, I can't wait till I'm able to go there. I just got to find a train that's going to take me there. I don't waiting for them to put the train from Pennsylvania right over to the Netherlands. Then I'll be ready.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Direct route.
That would be nice.
Yeah. I'm thinking once we get those flying airplanes that the Jetsons were telling us about, then we'll be able to do that shit.
Yeah. Well, I heard that by 2028, we're going to have flying taxis. Seen that on the news the other day. So, and I've seen some interesting things.
That makes me feel safe. I'll be walking on the ground with flying things over our
Yeah,
heads.
this is the thing, right? They're going to have to create some kind of virtual grid in the sky that these flying vehicles.
I think it'll be great. They'll like just explode. You'll be walking down the road, and all of a sudden, two taxis will just crash into each other. Boom! Yay!
I tell you, I'd like to live another. I'd be really.
How do you wave them down from the street, Dr. High?
I don't know.
Hey! 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 Down here!
Just shoot up a flare.
Maybe.
That's all.
I don't know. Anyway, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I'm just looking at the comments here. Saw a spaceship fly out of a Stargate portal after the third time the portal opened is out in Alfreda, Arizona. Spaceship. Is it the same person who wishes they were high right now? Because you sound like you might be high right now. I'm just not sure.
I don't know.
But no, I truly believe in that stuff.
Identify themselves.
I'm a big believer in Skinwalker Ranch, and I believe that that's how we came to be on this planet. So
I believe the children are our future. Feed them well and let them lead the way.
That's funny.
Thank you.
It's true. Lori didn't even take the image that she wanted to start with.
Let's talk about me. Talk about number one.
So what do you want to talk about, Lori?
I don't know.
It's
I have so many stories up here. We have so many. I could talk about my weed. Oh, it was so good. 30-something%. I didn't even look.
Yeah.
But
33, 30, 32, 33%.
So good.
What was the strain again?
Oh, God. You're going to make me use my hands. I think it was Chemdog, to tell you the truth.
Chemdog.
I can't read, remember?
Yeah, could have been, though. That sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah, it is Chemdog.
Nice.
Chemdog. I got an ounce. I got an ounce of that. An ounce from me, an ounce from my daughter. And
your ounce was like 190, right? Which wasn't too crazy, I think.
No, it was like 110.
110 for the ounce?
No, yeah, 110 for a half. 220 for the whole ounce.
You know,
220.
Before I went to the States, so let's say 2002, 2003, 2001, that's what we'd cost. 220, 240 a zip.
I still pay that. I don't know if you noticed, but I still pay that.
Man, when I stopped extracting, which was 5 years ago, the reason I stopped.
We're going to talk about that. You need to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You can extract, and we'll run a line that can come right to my house, and it'll just drip into a bucket here at my house.
Well, I stopped because I did this under contract for people, right? I did my own stuff from the grow that we had, the medical grow we had. I did my own extraction for that. But the money came from extracting for other people, right? They'd come to me with 40, 50 pounds and want it turned into shatter or to distillate or to whatever it was. And that's how I made my living, the good part of my living, right? So weed dropped to about $600 to $700 a pound. A big producer came in the market who was able to drive the price of shatter down to $10, $12 a gram. So now it didn't make sense for these guys to take this pound of weed, give it to me, get 100 to 120 grams back on that, pay me for the process, and then try to sell the product that was extracted. There was no money in it, in the transfer. Yeah, so slowly I started to lose my contracts with guys because it just didn't make sense anymore. And I completely got it. You know what I mean? I was in the same boat.
You weren't telling them, but you were like,
I understood. So that's really when
damn it, another one gone.
That was really the time that I decided to head out to the legal market and go to Alberta and work in the new market, right? In the legal side.
Yeah. So I was spying last night. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just reading Lori's comments about Hippie changing your name to Doc.Hippie at the beginning of the show. You said, "Good morning, the doctors are in."
I'm no doctor. I'm a patient as well. I'm a doctor, but I'm a patient too. Like that.
It's the DoktorHigh and Patient Show.
Yes, there you go. DoktorHigh and the crazy guy.
The asylum is
crazy. I like that. DoktorHigh and the crazy guy.
And the crazy guy, DoktorHigh and the crazy guy.
Yeah, there you go.
That just might fly.
Welcome into the DoktorHigh and Crazy Guy show. Ganji lovers! There's the Ganji lovers. Yeah. What's up, bro? How's the plants? I still am regretting. I want to call them. I have their business card. I'm like, I want to call him and see if he has more plants for sale. I might go back and just buy them all. He had like 10 of them still sitting there when he left. When I left.
Ganji lovers?
No. Ganji lover. I thought of his plants, and then I was remembering at the festival, the dudes that were selling the plants like already, about a foot tall, ready to go. Yeah, we could talk about that too, DoktorHigh. Oh my God, I fucked up.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm embarrassed. I don't even want to say it on the radio. I don't know.
Well,
So I get that seed. Remember, I find that banana puddingine 33% seed in my medical, and I'm like, woohoo! I plant, I get it wet, it does its thing, I put it in some dirt. Now, this is where I guess I went wrong. My son and I were out in the yard earlier that day, and he pulled a tree out of the ground that he had just recently planted, that he got from the he works at a flower shop, a garden, and it was a little bush thing that he was going to try to plant in our front yard. They were like, it's on its way out, see if you can save it, it might be savable, and he was like, I'm going to bring it home and try to save it, and it unfortunately wasn't savable. So he pulled it out of the ground, and then he took that soil and he kind of shook it out into the hole so he would have it for the next plant that he decides to put there. And I said, you know what? That's probably some good soil to put into our plant into. So he said, yeah, not a bad idea. So I don't know, probably a bad idea, because now I have like 10 plants of something growing out of this cup. None of them look like weed. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't want to pluck anything. Yesterday there was nothing. Today I got one that's like 2 inches tall with no leaf. What, 2 leaves on the very tippy top, and then it's very thin. I'm like, oh great. Now I got a cup full of weeds.
Yeah, their roots will start to take up the space for which you want your roots to utilize. Right? And they'll start absorbing.
Yeah, I don't know which one's I don't know which one's which yet. None of them look like pot leaves.
Well,
hello, good morning, everybody.
Shouldn't your seed be the one that's right in the middle of the cup?
Yeah, the one closest. Those leaves kind of have a roundish look to them right now.
Well, the first one will. Your first set of leaves on your sprout.
Well, that's the one that looks. That's the one that's in the spot. That's the one that's in the spot that I put the seed. And
yeah, you'll have 2 little round leaves in the first ones.
Yeah, they're like very roundish though.
Yeah, your next set will be serrated.
Okay, that was scaring me.
The next set of leaves that come out will be serrated, but the first set's always like that.
Well, that's makes me nervous. But, all right, I'm going to pull everything else out of there then, because I felt like maybe the soil, I'm getting weeds now in my soil. I'm like,
yeah, try and get it out before they have a chance.
Oh yeah, they're very, very young. Like there's no roots to them. I can pull them out with with no effort.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting that. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not ideal, but you just get those things out of there as soon as possible. And
yeah, it was my first, the first soil. I figured I was going to get better soil and just add that to it. I figured it was going to be decent soil from inside of a rooted plant.
When you transplant, just go down to like Walmart or wherever you know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to get the real shit. Yeah, I just figured I would start this.
Perlite and vermiculite in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And you get small bag. You're only going to need for this time of year, maybe like a 2-gallon pot.
Indoor grow. Remember, it's going to be an indoor grow, and it's going to be 3 pots because there's 3 seeds growing. Well, the other two haven't officially started yet. But
are you going to get a tent?
Well, I have a greenhouse already that I can easily bring into the house, but it's not set up for that. It's just a regular greenhouse. I'm looking into buying that. Once I hit the lotto tomorrow, I think it's 1.2 point something $billion.
Oh,
this is $1 billion one. It kept growing and growing. If you have any family in the United States, you might want to send them some money and tell them to buy you some tickets, because it's like billions of dollars.
I don't play lottery ever. I rarely hear the jackpot will hit 70 million. If I'm in the store, I'll buy 1 ticket.
I'm talking billion, B with a B.
Yeah, no, it's big. Well, actually, by the time you get the money, it's really only 500 million. You know what I mean? By the time it's all said and done, unless you take it over 30 years.
This is like 1.275 billion.
This is how they don't actually give you the money. It's like Publishers Clearinghouse, right? So we've all seen Publishers Clearinghouse. Well, they come to your door, they bring you a check for $10 million, blah, 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 blah. But
No, they don't. I've been asking for 25, 30 years now. Them fuckers never came.
Well, what they don't tell you is that this is paid out over 30 years. So that 10 million gets broken down over a 30-year period, right? So you're getting 300,000 a year or whatever it is.
Take it.
But that $10 million is earning more than that in interest, right? That lump sum money. So Publishers Clearinghouse has the 10 million, and they're piecing you off on the interest on that 10 million, and that's the way they do it. In Canada, it's different. If the lottery prize is $70 million, you get $70 million tax-free. Lottery winning in Canada is tax-free. If you go to the casino and you win, it's tax-free. Anytime you win money through this sort of thing, it's tax-free here.
Fucking Canada.
Which is a bit of a change.
You gotta fucking love Canada.
Well,
I can play their song right now. Oh, Canada.
Oh, we got some interesting news yesterday. Our Prime Minister's wife left him.
Oh, I heard that today on the news here. I heard Justin Trudeau's wife left.
Well, people here in Canada are saying it's really not fair because she has the option to leave him and we don't. And I'll tell you what, this guy, I'm going to tell you the truth. I voted for him.
What did you do?
In his first election because he promised hard to legalize marijuana. And he did.
So we love him.
He's proceeded to drive us into ruin. This guy is bringing in 1 million plus refugees and immigrants a year, but we cannot build enough housing.
Are they Americans?
No, they're mostly.
Where do your refugees come from?
They're coming from Afghanistan. They're coming from Syria. They're coming from all these countries.
North of you, I guess. North of you.
We don't really want these people here anyway. They're a drain on the society. You know what I mean? But it's not that. It's that there's not enough housing. We don't have enough housing, and the cost of housing is going through the roof. And when you combine that with the cost of food and this carbon tax on fuel, Canadian people are hurting. I feel it in a big way. You know what I mean? My wife and myself, just our groceries for 1 week is approaching $250 for 2 people.
That's today. That's what we hear in my house today. 200.
That's crazy.
I know it's crazy. No, I'm just kidding. But we, if we go to the Chinese food place, it's almost $100 now for everybody.
Yeah, well, if you go with your kids,
for 5 of us to eat Chinese food, it's like almost $100.
I don't take my wife to the buffets anymore. Crazy. We like the Chinese buffet, but
I love
go and eat.
But
2 egg rolls and a wonton soup.
Yeah, that's cheaper. I would think to go to the buffet. Well, not really. It's all fucking crazy. The $2. Remember the cheeseburgers at McDonald's? You probably don't remember. Your cheeseburgers were from the United States weren't very good, I'm sure. But the cheeseburger deal at McDonald's, when I was a kid, it was like a $2 meal. You got it for $2. It was 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and then if you wanted to go up, it went to like $3.50 if you got the biggie size. Now it's fucking $13.
Oh yeah,
$13 for 2 fucking little cheeseburgers. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
don't even go there no more. Fuck that shit.
No. And you know what that is, right? It's because of all the money they pump into the economy. Like, it's really crazy. If you deposit in your bank account $100, the bank has that $100 gives the bank the ability to lend out $3,000. They get this massive up. They don't have to have that money on hand. The money the bank lends out is not money they have on hand. It's an inflated number based upon their deposits. There's things like that. Then during COVID,
I screwed them so many times.
Yeah, all that stimulus money during COVID, all this money that they were giving, like in Canada, they were giving the CERB payment in the States. They pumped in 40% of the amount of money in the U.S. economy. They pumped it in 3 years. So the amount of money that was already in the economy, if you add 40% to that, that's what they put in during the pandemic. And that money is the cause of the inflation. You know what I mean? When there's more money than goods, goods go up in value. When there's more goods than money, goods come down in value.
Right.
You know?
That's why I got no goods when I go to the dispensary.
Yeah, it's getting tough. I'll tell you, man. I'm a little stressed about moving to Quebec and trying to figure it all out.
What? You said Montreal, now Quebec? What the hell, man?
Montreal.
Keep me in the
Laval,
loop, bro. Well, I don't know.
But it is Quebec. But
is there any way you could? This chick, she drive me to drink. I'm just kidding, Lori. I love you. She wants to know if you can send it to her email.
Listen, all you got to do, Lori, is I don't know how I would do that because it's been on my phone.
Well, you guys figure that out. I'm going to run a commercial. We'll be right back. You're listening to Hippie and DoktorHigh, hanging hard.
Hold on, Lori. I'm going to call you on FaceTime Messenger.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
I love you, Lori. Mwah, mwah. I'm going to flick you in your nipples. No, your nose, I mean.
Now, when a teen says something is on fleek,
nipples.
It's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe.
I have somebody who reached out to me.
You don't have to speak teen to be the perfect
It's very strange.
Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're
I didn't think it was going to be a video.
No,
it doesn't matter. I'm okay with it.
Service
I
announcement
gotta
brought
hear
to
her
you by the
voice.
U.S. Department of
Yeah,
Health and
I'm
Human
okay with it. I just thought it would just be a voice call. That's cool. Either way.
My break, I don't have to hear her voice during
This
this
is
time.
the story of a special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once,
so let me ask you this: are you at the point
each
where
girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug, she masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
You're here now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
But you can't open like you're able to give it your
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the roof for cheap prices. Contact Thorge today at 1-636-234-1535. We're on TikTok or Facebook at Badger. Good morning, everybody. He also makes LARPing items.
That's why David had no problem getting it. So
Health Water has certified medical grade that makes 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year and includes machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
The 2 PDF files? Because you should have 2 things. You should have one that says, one is a thank you letter and the other is the download instructions.
WTHC. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's pissing me off.
Let me do some checking with FC when the show's done today, and then I'll try and figure it out, and I'll let you know. Okay? Okay, Larry. No problem. Bye.
Why the fuck are all my files not being found now?
Okay.
Hi, buddy.
Oh, I just couldn't figure out how to turn down my computer, and I was having a hard time hearing Lori, so I had to sit to the side. That's got to be Steve. Only Steve comes in and says, "Good day."
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. That's all my Australian I speak.
Hey, guess what? What shall we guess?
She's gonna go to a concert. Her family is so wonderful. They take her everywhere. She goes to everything: Yankee games, Met games, Jet games, concerts. Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous.
Nice.
Where are you going now, girl?
Let's go on a walkabout. That's right. Let's find the nearest.
I forgot I knew that. I forgot I knew that part of Australian too. All right, DoktorHigh, I got some stories up here. I mean, we could talk about one of those if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's some interesting ones today. I've seen some stuff on posted on Facebook today that looked interesting. So yeah, let's get into it.
All right, here we go. I got one. Okay. Zooties. Have you heard of it? Zooties? ZOOTIEZ. And the future of cannabis. What is Zooties?
That's what I want to know.
Despite facing financial and regulatory challenges, the cannabis industry in the United States is experiencing a significant shift in consumer attitudes. Oh, yeah, well, getting a little pissed off, fuckers. According to a recent survey conducted by cannabis consulting firm New Frontier Data, acceptance and usage of cannabis have witnessed remarkable growth in the past year. The survey, which encompasses nearly 4,400 marijuana consumers and 1,200 non-users, reveals a clear trend that more individuals are embracing cannabis while opposition is on the decline.
Yep.
Bloomberg notes an interesting finding from the study. Approximately 1/3 of cannabis consumers reported using the plant multiple times a day. The survey further highlights that an estimated 42% of U.S. consumers have tried cannabis and have plans to continue using it, a notable rise from the 39% recorded a year ago. Conversely, the percentage of individuals who have never used cannabis and have no intention to do so has decreased to 30%, down from 34% last year. Moreover, the survey shows a growing openness among individuals to try cannabis for the first time, while only 13% expressed a firm decision to never, ever use it again, a slight decrease compared to 2022. With increasing numbers of states legalizing cannabis, the industry is poised for substantial growth. New Frontier Data projects a 17% expansion, reaching $34 billion in sales in 2023. The projections demonstrate the potential economic opportunities within the cannabis market, as well as the resilience of the industry in the face of regulatory and financial challenges. Okay, finally to Zooties. Zooties, a premier cannabis brand coming out of California, is poised to leverage these trends and help authentically develop the cannabis industry. With a founder with deep roots in Humboldt County,
which is part of the Emerald Triangle, one of the most famous cannabis producing regions in America.
All right. Well, somebody there with deep roots in that area, county, Zooties has become synonymous with excellence, producing exponential cannabis with captivating competitive consumers. Boasting a team with over 3 decades of combined experience, the company's connoisseur men are the driving force behind the cultivation of new, impressive strains, renowned for their meticulous quality control and a constant quest for unique profiles. Zooties has earned the trust of disconcerting consumers, often drawing comparison to the craftsmanship of Rolls-Royce.
Oh, nice.
The brand rise to prominence is evident in its inclusion in hip-hop artists' future chart-topping hits sung Puffin' on the Zooties, reaching a high as 4th on the U.S. Billboard. The track has further catapulted Zootie's popularity. Adapting to the ever-long cannabis landscape, the company has demonstrated its ability to stay ahead of the curve. However, amidst this surge in demand, Zooties remains committed to its origins, producing only small batch flower cultivated under the careful supervision of their expertise. Positioned for future success, Zooties is poised to export the excellence of California cannabis across the nation once federal legalization is achieved. To stay updated on the latest developments, interested individuals can follow Zooties' official Instagram account as the brand continues to make waves in the industry. It embodies the essence of luxury cannabis culture and stands as a shining example of top-tier craftsmanship. The fucking end. Oh,
Right.
I hate
that's phenomenal if you have access to it. But the problem is that if you do have federal legalization, these guys won't be able to scale to national distribution and still maintain the same quality. Very hard to do, right? Because cannabis is super labor intensive. To grow a good plant, you have to put effort in and time. So just to give you an idea, for 800 plants, we had 2 guys full time on that room.
That's it.
You know what I mean? 1,000 plants, 2 guys full time. Yeah. But that's 800 or 1,000 plants. So by the time you're done that harvest, you're at dry weight, 60 kilos, 80 kilos. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking.
That doesn't go very far, because when you take a kilo is like 32 ounces. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't even have 3,200 ounces off a harvest. You might be somewhere more in the range of 2,800 ounces. So if you develop a brand that has that big of a following, there's only so much to go around. Right? So
I mean, unless they have, we don't know what they have. I mean,
yeah, that's
they
it.
might have 800 people working for Zooties by that time, and
right. But the bigger you get, the harder it is to control quality.
We deep rooted in that triangle you was talking about. So they probably got cash. They probably got some property. They probably know what they're doing.
Yeah,
maybe it's Jorge Cervantes.
You can have all the best intent in the world, but to scale up, yeah, when you're running a craft operation in Canada, a craft grow is defined as 2,500 square feet or less, right? So 2,500 square feet is enough to do, 1,000 plants, maybe 1,400 max if you go super tight. But I'm thinking more like 800 to 1,000. So there's only so much you can do with that. There's only so much product that comes out of harvest, right? So, I mean, I'd love to try this stuff. It sounds great. But if they ever get big enough that they're running across the country, I think the quality will probably slip.
Well, let's not hope. Let's hope for the best.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying the reality, because I'm all about the reality when I talk about the cannabis industry, because it's seen so much.
I get what you're saying. It's it's going to be harder to control. It's going to the production isn't going to be as quality because you got so many damn plants and whatever. It's just
it just gets difficult.
it gets
It's
more
not
difficult.
that the intent isn't the same. It's just that the logistics.
Sure, they're going to do their very best to try to keep it the best, but
absolutely, because that's what a conscientious grower is. That's what a master grower is. Somebody who really cares about the quality of their plants. That's what it's. That's what it's about. They take real pride in it.
Yes, Devon, how are you?
Yeah, how you doing, Sven? So Gianna's going to see Pantera and Metallica. That should be fun.
I'm a little jealous. So we're going to talk about it. At MetLife Stadium, too. So it's outdoor arena. It's going to be great.
Nice.
Lots and lots of people. There was something else I wanted to mention to you. Damn it. It's gone. What else?
Oh, let's talk about your shopping trip.
Okay.
Talk about the goodies. What have you been indulging in so far?
Well, like I said, the flour, Chem Dog. Oh my goodness, it's different. I'm learning from you that I don't need to do things. I'm over. I've always been one of those type of guys where it's all or nothing. So if I'm gonna snort cocaine, I'm snorting it all. If I'm gonna smoke weed, I'm gonna pack that bowl all the way till it's full. And I'm going to smoke it, and I'm going to get fucked up. I'm finding now, after hanging with you for the last couple months, that, I don't need to do certain things. And I've been learning, and it's amazing. And I thank you so, so very much. Because now, like I said earlier, when we were talking before the show, I was saying how I put like one tiny little piece of weed into my bong, and I get a good strong, nice one hit, and that shit sucks through.
Yeah.
And then, or I get two, luckily you get two out of it and it sucks through, and so I did one earlier. I broke out a little tiny bud, smaller than I've ever broken off. Okay. I broke it off. I usually take buds and just stuff it in the bowl. That's the way I never broke it up. I would just take a bud and just cram that fucker in there until it was tight. And then I would smoke the fuck out of it for the next 4 or 5 hours, however long it took me to finish it. But I wouldn't slow down or stop. You know what I mean? I would just smoke until it was gone. And then I'd be like, all right, I'm stoned. And then I'd put it down. I could never, like a joint. If I roll a joint, I smoke the whole fucking thing. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
I do too. Yeah, but that's normal.
A lot of people have the ability to put it down and wait a half hour and pick it back up. I don't have that ability. I have to smoke it, and we're going to smoke it all. And if there's still a little bit left, give it to me. I'll finish it because I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. It's just the way I was made. I hate it. Right. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's not good. A lot of times Mississippi would say it's not good. Anyway, that being said, so now I'm doing it. I'm just learning from you, listening to you, being here every day and listening. I've learned that so anyway, I took that tiny little bud out and I broke it in half. And I said, all right, put this little half in, take a couple hits. I took maybe 3 luckily that time. It was a little bigger than I wanted it to be, but I got 3 hits and then it sucked through. I put the bong away. I put it away. And I was like, all right, I put it away. I'm not even thinking. And then all of a sudden I look down and there's still the other half of the bud sitting there on the table. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there? And I'm like, holy shit, I never even fucking finished smoking what I was smoking before. But because I taste it now, the aroma, the taste, the not killing it, not overpacking it, getting that flavor, the full hit is just amazing. It's just so much better. And, this is from me being a kid at 13 thinking, this is the way we're supposed to do it. Cram it.
Right.
As much as you could get in there and get fucked up. That was my life. That was the way I was, I just did it. That's the way I did it. Does that make sense? So now,
you can always go to a different size bowl too, right? To control your consumption. You can always get to a smaller bowl size because they come.
It was never, but it was never that way. It was always like, look for the biggest bowl. Now I see what you're saying. The smaller bowl, you know, I'm still a little nervous about the dry herb vaporizing. I don't, you know, I still don't kind of like that taste, but I might consider it. I might reconsider it. And once I get some cash coming in on a regular, I might reconsider going and getting myself a decent, you know, dry herb vape and trying it again because I like having the ability to have that convenience. You know, that's the only bad thing is what having that convenience makes me smoke more. Like, that's why I stopped with the carts, because the carts are so goddamn convenient that I just be sitting here smoking them, blah, 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 hanging out.
But if they're powerful enough, you don't feel the need to go back to them as often.
No. It doesn't matter because I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. So I want to finish that fucking vape. And you know, and I can't be high enough. Like, I don't get that high that I used to get, you know, where I'm giggly and
well, yeah.
You know, so I'm always searching for that shit.
Right.
Do day shift. Okay, don't do day shift. Stay off the day shift.
Who's on the day shift?
I don't know. Oh, it's probably Tim. Fungi! Is that you?
Oh.
That's okay, buddy. You've been wonderful. That's all right, friend. No problem. Rescue families. He's a hero. Yeah. He's going to rescue families.
That's good.
Thank you for rescuing families. You just woke up. That's because you're up all night partying on the radio, damn it. You need to get some rest. Anyway, so Dr. High, that being said, I want to thank you again for, you know, even with the dabs and, you know, and I've been trying to, you know, not hit the cart as hard. You know, I used to suck on that thing like I was trying to get a golf ball through a hose, you know, trying to get that big hit, you know, but now I'm okay. I take a tiny hit, I blow it out, I put it down, I try not to look at it again for a little while. I try to forget about it.
There we go.
But, you know, much love, Timmy. Don't worry about it. I got your back. I got you covered.
Well, I got to step aside for a second. Why don't you throw on a funny song?
You got to take a shit?
No. What? I need to step aside for a minute. I would be back. Throw a song on.
I don't have funny ones. I can't put funny ones on, but I can put people on, yes.
There you go. I'll be right back.
All right. We'll be right back. Here's Holistic Meditation in the Freedom Renegades with Like Me.
You really couldn't understand what it's like in my shoes, cause I'm a bad motherfucker, always keeping it cool. I never listen to fools, I never stated the rules. A lot of kids got an ass whooping, switching me schools. Say I'm a lover and a fighter, never been a dick fighter. I'm a spiritual gangster trying to take that shit higher. I'm the richer in and out of wealthiness and full power. Never really need a thing, but got it on the lady shower. I'm a mother-loving genius if I say so myself. And if you wanna try and take it, I'm defending the belt. Never need any help, well the grip in the shows. And I ain't never been a sucker as my mother or bro. Yo, I'm a hunter, you know. Get impossible glow, and guaranteed to find another, it's impossible, yo. See, I ain't never took you serious, I'm referring to life. And I ain't never seen a problem, only good and I'm right. You ain't rhyme like me, you ain't kind like me. You ain't doing what you want to anytime like me. You ain't shine like me, you never grind like me. You ain't really super fine by design like me, like me. Like me, yeah, like me, what? Like me, yeah, like me, what? Like me, come on, like me, like me, come on, like me, my flow.
Adrian! Is that awesome, Adrian? What's up, awesome, Adrian?
You don't grind like me, don't have mind like me. That's fine by me, because design I see is defined by me. And in my mind, I'm free, what? Yeah. You got caught in the thigh, you took a whole lot of whatever was brought, but I'm not. And you smashing, crashing up and breaking motherfuckers into passion. You're mashing out until you're passing out.
I'm doing great, buddy. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
You ain't rhyme like me, you ain't kind like me. You ain't doing what you want to anytime like me. You ain't shine like me, you never grind like me. You ain't really super fine by design like me, like me, like me, like me.
I'll tell you.
Like me, like me, yeah, yo, I'm original, baby.
How you doing, Adrian?
The vision is hazy, no, that nothing can face me. It makes me how good the day's been. oasis. So maybe I can jump off the jock strap and stop that pop rap and got the fuck back to the track like rap with the greatest cap strap. If you ready for the Mac, we got to bring it all back. To the way I attack, the higher rap is fire jack. You right is like the slightest act to inspire your track. You just the line attack, you let it fly, relax. You make your mind a mask, make up your mind at last and put your mind intact. You tell them take you what you love and make it all the cash. Yeah, it's also super dope shit. Better feel when I'm flowing cause I feel like this. You ain't rhyme like me, you ain't kind like me, you ain't doing what you want to anytime like me, you ain't shine like me, you never grind like me, you ain't really super fine by design like me, 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 like me. Cause I feel like this, cause I feel like this, cause I feel like this. Yeah, 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 yeah.
WTHC, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It is 11:09 over here on the East Coast. I want to give a big shout out to everybody out there on Live 365 and tune in for being here. And, of course, everybody hanging out over here on Facebook and YouTube. Speaking of famous stars, there's Fulton Block's Most Wanted. Welcome in, Fulton. Whoop, whoop.
How are you?
We are talking weed this morning, hanging out, having a grand old time, laughing, crying, having fun.
We are no longer spine and rehab centers anymore. And now we are Oasis Medical officially. What is that all about?
Oh, her parents owned like 25,000, I'm exaggerating, chiropractic and spine places. And then, and then they just merged with Oasis, and now I guess they have officially been taken over by Oasis. They've sold out to Oasis or something to that effect. Fulton, just send it to where you send it, bro. You know where to go. You know where it goes.
Am I familiar with his music?
I don't know. I don't play it very often during this show, but you've heard. You've definitely heard.
But I listen a lot.
Yeah, you've definitely
listened a lot. Interesting.
What was I just going to say, though? We were going to... Damn it.
I don't know. Talk about old P. Diddy losing $180-some-odd million in the cannabis game.
Did he really?
Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Yeah.
P. Diddy, how did that happen?
He was trying to buy a couple of marijuana operations, and it's not going to happen. Oh, he was waiting in the wings with Cresco Labs and Columbia Care. Huh.
He's probably the reason why the merger fell through.
Could be.
P. Diddy, get your hands involved in my fucking Columbia Care. That's my dispensary, bro. I don't need no Mike Tyson standing on my ass. That's where Mike Tyson scared the shit out of me. That damn thing.
Could be. And they're saying Maryland, in the first legalization in Maryland, $87 million worth of transactions.
That's it?
$87 million in the first
24 hours.
Do you mix tobacco in your weed? I don't. I know people that do, but that's never been my thing.
Thoughts?
Some people swear by it, but yeah, it's never been for me. Facebook user.
Me either. My son has come home and told me about Fanta or Fanto or Fanto or Fanta, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And he's like, "Try this," and he gave me a joint, and I almost died, or a blunt. It might have been a blunt. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's
You're trying to kill me, boy.
Never been for me. I know a lot of people that do it because it kind of it makes the cannabis last longer, right? Because you use less when you roll a joint because you're mixing the tobacco in.
I got a question, DoktorHigh. Mm-hmm. You ever smoked cigarettes in your day?
I only quit smoking cigarettes in January.
Oh, well, congratulations. Yeah. I'm very proud of you. All right. So, all my life I was a smoker for maybe the last 12 years or so. I quit, 10 or 12 years. I've been vaping. not having officially quit. I'm just vaping and no longer on cigarettes. Anyway, remember when you would light up a cigarette and you would taste weed? Why? Explain.
I don't know. I know what you mean, though. I know just that little weird off, smell, right? For a second.
Had it. You know you've had it. Everybody's tried it.
I really don't know why. I have no
does
idea.
It taste like weed, Dr.High?
It probably, what you're probably smelling is burning combustible plant material. That's probably the similarity between the two. You know what I mean? Because when you dry herb vaporizer,
maybe it didn't dry appropriately, and it still has that little bit of a fresh taste.
Well,
to
no,
it.
it's. I mean, when you smell weed in a joint, or from a bong, you're smelling the combination of not only the cannabinoids and the terpenes and the flavonoids, but you're also smelling the burnt plant material, right? The combusted plant material. So
is that that good smell though? Is that like when I was walking through the festival?
I think it might be that deep weedy smell.
Yeah,
I think there might be some to it because
the one that gets you busted when you walk into school and you smell like weed. And they're like,
when you smoke from a vape, a dry herb vape tells you what cannabis tastes like without combustion. And the taste is nowhere near the same, right? They're very, very different. So
you get that taste on my tongue.
You got a little fur on your tongue.
I got the taste on my tongue just thinking about it. Ugh.
But
I tried it times. They are doing Canada called a spliff.
Yeah,
I mean, everything was a spliff back in the day. I think that was one of our terms, but you might have something. You might be onto something with something different now that they've changed it.
I've always thought of a spliff as cannabis, tobacco, and hash.
I've always thought of a spliff as just a joint. Pass me the spliff, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people use it interchangeably, right? It's
it was a term of endearment at one point. I think.
I think about if somebody says to me, "You want to smoke a spliff?" What I'm thinking is cannabis, tobacco, and hash. So that's what I'm thinking. In Canada, are you a Canada Facebook user?
Maybe that's why I get really fucked up off the spliffs, and I didn't even know. I'm like, I'll smoke a joint.
No, you would taste it. You would know.
Us crazy Americans call it spliff a joint, a spliff.
Yeah, hash.
It's fungi again.
Oh, okay.
Fungi. We got to change your name to fungi so we can see you. I don't know why fungi just doesn't come up.
It just says Facebook user.
3 days. 3 of us every day because he is the fungi. But he has to do his chores. But I'm like, he could just be here unless we're bringing somebody else out, and then we kick him out. My neighbor would always ask me to come out and smoke explicit. A minute, I don't smoke cigarettes, so I choke.
Oh, this is autocorrect. It does some crazy things, right?
Explicit.
Explicit as opposed to spliff. Yeah, the tobacco does do that, I find. And I find that people that smoke cigarettes and smoke weed cough a whole lot more than people who just smoke weed. You know what I mean? So I think that the actual deep coughing that comes along with smoking cannabis is actually more related to somebody who's smoking tobacco also. That's been my experience. So unless you're smoking distillate, then everybody coughs.
Yeah, well, the distillate's fucking me up. That's what I'm saying. That distillate's fucking my lung up.
Yeah. No, it'll make you
high. You answer that while I run commercials. We'll be right back. You're listening to Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh getting hard.
Hey, Dad, your prescription.
I'm not really sure if it does or not. Some people will say it does. There's things here in Canada called poppers.
Your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Basically, what it is we use those cheap acrylic bongs, and they pack the metal down stem on that with a little bit of tobacco, and then they pack the weed on top.
Time for yourself.
as they light it up and the bong,
information and useful tips
when
on
the
how
weed and the tobacco burn, it shoots down the tube into the water, makes a little pop sound.
Challenges of
They
caring
call them hoppers, but
because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
or
Thanks,
stone,
Dad.
because I've questioned why somebody would do
You're there
that.
for them.
Right
We're here
up
for you.
front.
Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving.
I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
Service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Fucking fly, man. It's making me
All right,
crazy.
class. Let's hear what everyone did this week.
I got a skeeter in here has been driving me
My older
nuts.
sister to a big oak
Oh,
tree.
that's
It was at
crazy.
least
One tiny little
old.
fly will
Mom
leave
said
me
it must-
alone. It's making me
Then we
crazy.
went down by
Yeah, there's like a whole house. There's a whole
my dog
house.
doesn't eat flies like other dogs.
and then I rescued
My
my
dog
mom
don't eat
from an
flies
evil
either.
slug king.
No,
who
he
was
doesn't.
guarding
He
him in the
doesn't
bushes.
get them.
My sister and I brought him back to our super twin
The
boy.
cat, though, the new cat,
We
the
all
kitten,
laid out
he likes
and
to
some
chase
stories
everything,
until it
so
got dark.
he's been
Oh.
taking care of most of the bugs. And he's a fucking mouse killer.
We went to the
Right.
forest.
Oh,
There's
yeah?
a skeeter on my Peter, whack it
Anyone
off.
want to come this weekend?
There's a skeeter on my Peter, whack it
Ask your
off.
parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week.
There's
and
a
find
dozen
fun
on my
adventures.
cousin, I can hear
It's
the
closer
best
than-
dozen. There's
Check
a
out
skeeter on my Peter,
discovertheforest.org.
whack it off.
Brought to you by the
Buddy.
Youth Service and the Ad
You're
Council.
gonna die.
Look at this beautiful crystal sphere I got from Bella's Badass Crystals.
Look at this big vagina I got.
OMG, hippie.
It doubles as a worry stone.
It does
Bella's
double as a
Badass
worry
Crystals is
stone.
on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
You can also check out their sales. They have mini Mondays and twice a day Tuesdays.
Find Bella's Badass Crystals on Facebook.
I have one you
Instagram,
could
and
have. It's
TikTok.
ferocious.
They are
It likes to kill
badass.
people.
What's that? A fly?
Bill Schmidt
Gigi
Jr.,
said she wants a dog.
AKA Billy Blaze,
Oh.
aka 420
They're the
Kid.
best. Yeah, dogs are the best.
R.I.P. to my
Man, nothing
man
but
David
love.
Kroll. I want to give a shout out to Calligraphy, my dude Means, little homie Manuel Noriega, Big Just,
Happy 420, everybody! My man Raggy over there in the UK.
I haven't seen him for a couple days.
I think towards the end of the month he loses his Wi-Fi because he runs it out, his data or whatever it's called. So he should be here today. His new data's been back.
In England,
And he works until like right when we get off.
Yeah, you pay your
Can't hear a word you're
utilities.
saying. Yeah, he works like he gets off of work, so he can't really be here until like we sign off, and that's when he gets.
Come on. His priorities are all messed up.
Yeah, we got to get him over here. You have a daughter he can marry?
I do.
All right. He's a homely bastard. Kind of looks like Austin Powers with long hair. He talks like him too.
Well, that's the Brit.
I already talked to him about her, Tim. I mean, fun guy. I said, wait, Timmy might have a sister-in-law that needs some love. Roll that shit. Make that shit burning.
Got sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday stroll. Homie got the rap, give me the sack. Let the good times roll. Therapy, earth, body, and soul.
It's going to be awesome that I'm going to know all the words to this song when we get there and party with these dudes.
This is calligraphy?
Oh, saving family again.
Ravioli, nice. John is a puppeteer also? Is that the right word? Puppeteer?
I'm sorry? I can't hear you. I have an ear infection. Calligraphy in my ears.
Laura, you got
THC.
Tell me more.
She's stoned. Free She's got that stupid Temu thing, and she's suckering everybody. Oh, it's like a multi-pyramid scheme, and she's bitten it and hard.
That's that Temu, eh? I've seen that. I've actually seen that on your.
Don't fall for her shit. Don't fall for her.
But you know
She'll
what's
try to
crazy?
convince you. She'll be like, DoktorHigh, I just need you to sign up. I'll get free new items if you sign up.
But I've seen them advertising all over the place. Right?
There's no sucker written on my forehead.
No.
WTHC. Good morning, everybody. 11:24. Happy 420 to Raggy, Robert, Sky Daddy, and everybody else over there in the UK. Oh, and my good friend John. It makes his Peter tickle when I tinkle or whatever he says. Hi, this is John from the UK. The hippie's voice makes my pickle tickle. Woo. Anyway, sorry. I don't know what the hell that was. That's somebody sent it in. I kept it. Taco salad for dinner.
Taco salad.
Okay, this show has gone to shit. We're talking about taco salad for dinner. This show has gone to shit.
I think I'm going to make myself a Caesar salad with chicken and candied bacon. I love candy and bacon. One of my favorite things.
Two of my favorite words.
Candy and bacon.
Go
well together.
THC, dabs. But even the dabs, like when we were talking earlier about me and enjoying the flavors and not going all or nothing like I've been all my life. I've seen a decrease in my intake. I've seen a increase in my flavors and my taste and in my enjoyment. And I feel, like I'm getting higher because I'm getting better quality stuff. Instead of going in there and telling them, here's $700, give me whatever is good. And then
because they're going to give you what's not selling, right?
Right. They did. Now they look at me with a different kind of look. Now I come in there, I got a paper in front of me, and I'm like, I want this. I want full gram. I don't want to hear your lip. I don't want to hear there's none of it left. And then they say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, they're very sweet. They're wonderful. I love the Acopothorarium dispensary or whatever the fuck it's called.
You see, if that was my business and somebody came in and just put money on the counter and said, give me $700 worth of product. What do you want? I don't know. You tell me. I'm going to say, oh, perfect. I can get rid of some of that stock that's not moving.
That's not very nice, DoktorHigh.
But it's the way business works, unfortunately. I personally wouldn't because I take a lot of pride in cannabis, and
you said you would.
It's really important. No, but I'm just saying, this is the mentality of a business.
Well, yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
You're saying, but yeah, I said you would.
Yeah, I care about these things. Like to me,
right? And I go in there because I'm a caring person. And I go in there and I go under the assumption that these people care and they're doing this because they care and they're going to help me because it's medicine. And I guess it's not safe to assume anything because it makes an ass out of me all the fucking time.
Well, if you want to see how much they care, go there with no money and see what they do for you.
Well,
because it's medicine, right?
Right. I should go in there and be like,
it's like these groups on Facebook. There are groups that have invited me to join on Facebook, which I have joined. Now I assume, and these are admins, right? These are the people that run the groups. Because a lot of times I won't join a group unless it's an admin who invites me into that group, because I assume at that point in time they've seen what I do.
Taking their time, right?
You know what I mean? So the reason they're inviting me is because they want that content in the group. And then I post the content in the group, and the next thing you know, nobody's banned me, but they decline the post or they remove the post.
Yep.
And I always send them a message and I say, listen, your group is about cannabis, and it's about cannabis education, or it's about this aspect or that aspect. So you invited me into this group. And if you really care about the people in the group, then this is the information they need. This is the information they want.
It's kind of different for you because you're giving them like actual medical advice, and I'm just a radio station. They call me spamming, no advertising, no spamming. I'm not one to go there and do 100 posts a day. I mean, unfortunately, some of my moderators, and I'm not blaming them, they are wonderful and I love them all. But, we might accidentally post to somewhere twice or 3 times by mistake because we didn't notice that somebody else posted it.
Right.
But I in no way am trying to spam anybody, but I want people to know that Dr. High and I are here every day. I want people to know that I'm on the radio, and that's all I'm asking is just let the people know real quick, one post. But as soon as they kick me out or as soon as I go in and I delete their whole fucking group, I tell them to go fuck themselves. And I kind of say it that way. I'm like, you invited me here, or even if they didn't, and I just joined the group, and I'm like, you're that much of an asshole that I put one post, then go fuck yourself and your 12,000 followers, or I don't care how many people are following.
Well,
because if you look at it, they're all following all the same groups. I'm finding guys, I can't even say their names because it's in a different language. And we're following 68 people of the same people. They're all following everybody. It doesn't matter what group I'm in. It'll all get out there.
So it's like this morning. I was invited by an admin to join a group yesterday. Okay, it's a group in France, CBD group, and I was invited in. So I took a look at the admins, and I saw that the person that invited me was an admin of the group, and somebody I've actually spoken to on numerous occasions. And I get a message from her co-administrator this morning, and he says, "Bonjour. I'm writing to you to authorize you to make your advertisement in the group." You know what I mean? So he's saying you have permission to post as you post. Because I don't, if you look at any of my posts in other people's groups, they're not sales posts. I'm not posting my Etsy stuff. You know what I mean? I post my blog posts and I give shit away. I give away books. That's the promotion I do. And if that's self-promotion, then so be it. But really, I'm giving. And all these groups, they all have a thing at the bottom that says, give more than you take in this group. I take nothing from any group. I don't participate in giveaways. I don't involve myself in any of that. I give and go. I do not take from none of them. None of them.
I kind of feel like I do the same. I mean, if I win something at Bella's Badass Crystals, I'm there all the time. I'm supporting them during their shows. I feel as though if I win something, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to turn them down, But I'm also spending money there. I'm also bringing all my friends and family members over to them and hanging out every night or whenever they're live, So I don't feel like I don't, free gift from them. We do things for each other, But I agree with you 100%. Like,
Dr. High didn't start out to be a venture to make money. I didn't start it out to be a business. I started out to be an educational, informational thing. But the costs add up, right? Like there's money involved. There's money that comes out of my pocket every month to do that.
Yeah.
And really, I'm perfectly happy if I can generate enough revenue to cover those things. You know what I mean? Like that's okay for me. If I can stay on an even keel, then that's okay. That's good. So that's why the Etsy store, that's why the books are on Amazon. But nobody on Facebook has ever been asked to pay for that. They've all been given away. And I can tell you for a fact, since I started in March, there have been more than 800 books
given away,
downloaded through people on Facebook, through my posts. More than 800. So that's 800 people out there who've gotten this information at no cost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got
so,
20.
I don't understand groups that criticize the intent.
I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to build a safe community where you're not getting the constant nonsense. But I mean, look at what you're looking at before you just throw it away. Like my shit doesn't say anything bad. It just says, DoktorHigh and I are going live in a few hours or whatever time it is, and follow us on WTHC radio or Live 365. Catch us on Facebook or YouTube, and that's it. Thank you and have a great day. Peace, love, and hippie hugs to everybody. That's kind of my post every day, and then I share it to my 30 or so groups. I got like 2 I'm still trying to figure out who turn me down every day, but they haven't kicked me out. They just keep turning it down. As soon as I figure out which 2 they are, I'm going to delete them because I'm obviously I just don't.
Just check your content. I'm worried about. Each group will show you what content's been posted and not posted. And I will do that from time to time. I'll check that group to see. And if my stuff's not being posted the majority of the time, then I don't, because I posted 121 groups, 121. Then I got to do the same thing over and over again, and there's nothing in it for me.
I don't even I don't even write anything anymore on like if I'm sharing yours or something. I just leave it the way it is and share it. I'm like, I'm not gonna write. It asks you to write something every time. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I just
let it share
because there is a hole. There's a hole in people's access to information about cannabis for medical purposes, right? There's a definite gap in there, and the more you're seeing legalization, the greater that gap is becoming, because medical patients, like in California, the whole movement started because of medical, right? And that's where it started in every state. It started with medical. And then they brought in recreational afterwards. But once that happens, no longer are people thinking about the medical patient needs. They're more interested by the revenue that can be generated on the recreational side. So they put less effort into focusing on patient needs and more focus on recreational profits. So patients fall behind.
Yes. Wow. I'm high. I was just gonna say something.
Then I got high. Shit. Then I got high. Then I got high.
Yeah. Fuck. It's gone. I had something so good too. Anyway, what were we talking about? Because I want to try to get
we were talking about how patients fall behind through legalization.
Further back, a little further back, I think.
When we're talking about how Facebook groups portray themselves sometimes to be one thing and they aren't.
Right. Like I said before, that's it, right? Okay. So like I was saying before, I have you said you have 120 or so, whatever. I have like 30 or so. In my opinion, I'll steal Lori's words because I just read them. In my opinion, like if they don't like what I'm posting, they can kick me out or I can leave. I'll leave on my own. I don't need to be kicked out. If you're gonna ban whatever I post, then obviously we're not meant to be together. If you don't have the patience or the time to look at it, then I will move on. There are so many millions and millions of groups out there that I don't need that little group. It's one group. If that's, I feel bad for the people who are going to miss out on us and the ability. And because one person decided not to let me post that, they're going to miss out. The other 12,000 are going to miss out.
Yeah. It's really the case. But there are some great ones out there too that, when I look at my content, I've had 50 or 60 posts published in there too. So there's plenty of great groups out there. Like there's at least 121. I can tell you there's at least 121.
I want to shout out 420 Safe Haven. They are absolutely amazing. Maria over there at 420 Safe Haven. She always posts. She shares. Oh, she's been here a couple times in the room chatting with us. She doesn't talk very much.
Send me an invite to that group.
Oh, 420 Safe Haven. They're amazing. I mean, they're a quiet little bunch, but she's always posting. She always allows me to post. She shares my stuff. I share her stuff. It is a beautiful relationship, and I would love to have her up someday and we can sit and talk to her. Also,
Yeah, actually, said Jake message for him.
DD Dabs and his sanctuary, the DD Dabs Sanctuary. That's another fantastic group that I absolutely love. They are generous, kind. They share everything. They speak highly of us. They shout us out. They share our stuff. They're amazing, and I don't do enough for them. I feel like I need to do more for them. So if anybody can help fill in, and if you see DD Dabs doing stuff, share it out for me, please. Put it on our page because they're amazing.
Yeah, we actually just became friends on Facebook in the last 2 or 3 days. It's kind of funny, but we just finally crossed paths on Facebook's DD Dabs and myself. So,
oh yeah, actually, you ran into each other
on Facebook.
Yeah, in a group or something.
No, actually, he sent me a friend request.
Oh yeah, because of here probably.
Hopefully, it's the real one and not a cloned. Not a clone thing, but I don't really worry about that because I'm not susceptible to those individuals so much. You know what I mean? I ask people, a stranger messages me, and my first words are like, "How can I help you? What do you need?"
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of messages lately. I don't know but my Facebook is blowing up.
I had some woman I don't even know send me a message yesterday saying she needs $100 to look out for her kid. I'm like, it's your kid.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones I just delete. Like those ones, the ones asking me for puppet sex and stuff like that. I delete those.
Oh yeah, you're lucky to get those.
The ones that call me about weed and drugs, I go right to it. I'm like, right to it. I said, immediately. I'm like, oh, awesome. You're interested in being on my show? And then I say, I would love to have you on the show. We can talk about everything you sell. And they're like,
send me your website,
no,
or a link to your products in the dispensary.
And they're like, no. But yesterday, I somebody hit me up, and I said that to them, and they said, okay. And they said, I'm a legal dispensary in California. And we're in talks. He's going to be coming on. I told him it would be like 7:30 in the morning for his time because of what time we start. He said no issue. He'd be thrilled to be on. So I'm going to finish that conversation today and try to set it up for maybe the beginning of next week.
Sure.
He says he's illegal. But this is where I get a little concerned though. He says he's a legal dispensary, blah, blah, blah. But then, I see in photos and stuff, I see Xanax. I see other types of pills. I see.
Right away, when somebody sends me a friend request, even if it's cannabis forward,
I see
when I look
money,
at their profile,
wads of money folded up on the table. I see.
Owned cards.
Hold on. Yeah, fake credit card things. And I'm like, I don't believe you. And all of a sudden, I didn't say that to him yet. I'm still playing the game with him. And I hope you're listening because I'm playing the game with you, bud. But I'll delete him sooner or later. Yeah, he's not the type of guy I want. Yeah, but I like to play games with people. I'm a mind fucker, so I like to.
It's okay. Right away, though, if I look at your profile and I see pills, clone cards, guns, that's it. Delete you. Yeah. I have nothing to do with you. I don't stand up with that.
Not that I hate you. Not that I hate you, bud. I don't hate him. Good luck with your journey, but but he says he says he's a licensed dispensary, so maybe he is. I don't think he is.
Well, anybody can say anything.
Yeah, well, I gave him the opportunity. He stopped the conversation. He said something to the effect of I'm down or something. Gave me a thumbs up. I responded with something I don't recall, and he didn't respond back. So I'm waiting on him. It's his move.
I'd say that the odds are slim to none.
Yeah, but I gotta ask, because if I turn everybody down,
no, if we have to, we ask.
I can't turn everybody down because one of them's going to be like, yeah, I am real. If I block,
and nobody's going to be under a different standard. we're not setting a different standard for each individual. We just need to verify that you're legitimate and real. And we support you. Same with the seed. Like, there's a lot of seed guys here on Facebook. There are a couple of really good seed groups. There are a couple of really good genetics groups that are very. I would conduct business with these individuals. I really
feel
think
free to share them out to me if you come across them. Feel free to share them to me. I'd be happy to pick them up.
Like one of the best seed groups on Facebook is the legit bean review. That's run by a woman named Kim Axtell, and
shout out to Kim.
Really, really reliable place. I would feel perfectly comfortable conducting a transaction if she said that was a good vendor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now I want Kim to give me a couple packs that we can give away as like gifts, to people, and and then I'll shout Kim out, and we'll talk about Kim all the time.
Well, I don't think she's actually a broker of seeds, but I think she's just put together to sort through the mire of people who are decent and not decent, right? Another one.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like anybody.
CGC fam.
Oh, I'm another part of that. Oh no, that's that group you keep telling us about, right? $50 a year.
True. I mean, genetics from him, I would feel totally safe. I would have no problem moving forward. I actually sent him a message this morning and said, "When are you gonna be ready to come spend some time with us?"
Let me ask you a question. Are you embarrassed of me? Because I don't want to go into any of your groups and be like, "Hey, I'm the hippie. I hang out with Dr. They'll be like, "Oh, you're the weirdo." All right, I just want to make sure. I don't want to. I don't want to ruin your reputation.
No, that wouldn't worry that.
With my silliness.
No.
All right. You know what time it is?
That. Okay. Time.
It's time for a commercial. We'll be right back. You're hanging with Hippie and Dr. High. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for being here.
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your.
I kind of look like Geraldo.
Fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack.
Before you got hit in the face with the chair.
Contact Thorge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok.
That's what you get for bringing on the white supremacists.
Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love has no.
You just got to know when to say when, Curly Kelly. You went one too many.
Beliefs and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow. Share in Dr. High's group, and any of you guys.
When people
come and
actually
join
sit
Dr. High
down,
group also, you can share anything you want there pretty much.
Break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/one-small-step, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation.
So, did you talk to the Tea Party yet? Have you told them I want their music so I can play it?
Has no labels and the Ad Council.
No, I do all that stuff kind of face to face.
In their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different?
Tell them
I mean, they go back to college.
If they give me anything on MP3, I can play it on my
Learn new
24
instruments.
hours. I can just add it to my list, and it'll
Start
go 24
skateboarding.
hours. And anything they send to me,
Okay, maybe that one's not for
I can
everybody.
play
but
during
for
like
your
our
retirement.
lives.
With yourretirement.org,
If they
you
give
can
me
get on
permission,
track with
I
your
can play it
retirement
during
savings,
our
no matter
lives
your
and
age.
stuff.
Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital
And then I just
retirement
tell
coach from
Facebook,
AARP.
here, I got a
You'll get
paper
personalized
says they say I can
recommendations
do
based on your
this.
input that are easy to understand.
Even though
and
they're
work
huge
with your
stars, they like
lifestyle.
me.
It's quick, easy,
Or they like
and
Dr.
free.
High.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so
Just
you
grew up
know they
together.
got your back. Woohoo! Gnarly move,
That's
Dad.
awesome.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement
Timmy had a
savings
great
journey,
guy on
head to
yesterday. His name is
aceyourretirement.org and
Chops.
start chatting with Avo today. That's
Chops. You know Chops.
aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
WTHC, good morning, everybody. It's 11:49 over here on the East Coast, 10:49 Central, 9:49 over there in the mountains, and 8:49. You guys over there just getting up. It's time to wake and bake. You're hanging with Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh. What are you saving money for, Doctor?
I'm just looking at Kelly down here. She says overtime again today. I will save the money for our trip. I would take overtime money and treat yourself to another cart or some nice flowers. That's what overtime money is designed
Well, no,
for.
but we're gonna she's gonna save it for the trip. We're gonna get baked. We're all getting stuff. We're gonna stop at the border of Pennsylvania right before we get into Ohio, and we're gonna go to a dispensary right around there and get as much drugs as we can.
Ohio's not recreational yet, eh?
No, it's medical, but we don't. They're not gonna take our cards there.
Why don't you do a quick detour through Michigan before you go into Ohio?
I didn't know I could, but I guess if that's a possibility.
Well, Michigan's wide open, right?
I guess recently or something like that, right?
Tim can tell us. He's from Michigan.
Timmy! Yeah, well, we got time to talk about that. We got until September 23rd. I don't know why I keep saying the 23rd because it was last month.
Where do you have to go in Ohio for the show?
I actually had the address. They wrote it. It's called I don't know. It's in it was like Johnsburg or something, but it's rec is legal. Says Alrisha. Alrisha says rec is legal. I don't need a medical card, says Curly Cal. She's from Brooklyn. She thinks she can just walk in anywhere and be like, I don't need a fucking card, motherfucker.
Yep.
Badges? Yep. We don't need no stinking badges. Fucking Curly Cal.
Well, it doesn't surprise me with Michigan.
She's going to be tough. She's going to be a tough one to deal with for 3 days.
You don't need a medical card in Michigan.
All right, good. Thank you, Alrisha, for your info. That helps us.
Everybody's
Ohio,
moving to Michigan.
Woo!
Yeah, because you could just pop straight up from Pennsylvania into Michigan first, and then shoot across into Ohio, right?
Right. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the whole route. We haven't planned the whole route out yet, but it's working out that it's actually going to work out. That it's not too. Lori actually lives fairly close. I mean, she's only like 4.5 hours away from it. So, by the time we get down to Lori, we're only 4.5 hours away up. So, I don't know. Cutting over.
Well, that would be my suggestion. If you're going anywhere near Michigan or the border, swing through long enough to hit a dispensary.
Yeah.
You know?
Because if I can get $10 grams of dabs instead of $100 grams of dabs.
Well, the prices are probably cheaper where it's open because there's more competition, right? More competitive marketplace. That's the whole thing. When you're only medically legal, you have a lack of competition, which doesn't force businesses to compete on the money side.
But didn't they just recently turn? I mean, if they just recently turned recreational, I think it's going to be a fucking madhouse.
I think Michigan has probably been at least a year.
Oh, has it been a year? Who just turned it the other day? Like Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Oh, maybe that's why I'm confusing it. Michigan and Minnesota.
I was reading an article this morning saying things in Minnesota are going booming since they legalized on the 2nd of August.
Exponentially. Sorry, I just wanted to use that word.
But you're going to find that now. like the article you read earlier, people are really like changing their mindset, right, towards cannabis. Yes, you're going to have a percentage of the population, but when they do these surveys, you don't know exactly, because a lot of them probably done by phone or online. So you don't know. Maybe the person that's answering the survey question is 72 years old. And they're saying, they're part of that 12% that says, I'm never going to try cannabis.
Oh, no
you know what I
way.
mean? There are people that are really against it and will stay that way. But the majority of people, and I believe now the numbers are well above 70%, believe that cannabis should be legalized, in the
I just
US.
don't
So
understand. I just don't understand. I can't figure it out. It behooves me. Why it's just not. I mean, everybody else is. Why my freaking state is so special?
It's. Do you have a lot of pharmaceutical manufacturing in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
There you
Well,
go.
in my area anyway. We got Sanofi Pasteur. You've heard of Sanofi.
So, yeah, Sanofi or whatever it's called. Yeah,
Sanofi. Yeah. I used to work there.
I mean, in the American system, you have political action groups, you have PACs, political action committees, and stuff like that lobby in Washington based upon industry wants and needs, and they're the guys who give this money to the politicians that allow them to run these campaigns. Like, it's insane, right? If you look at what Biden and Trump will spend on this next presidential campaign, you're going into the hundreds of millions of dollars being spent to put one of these two men in office. Where does the money come from? They're not paying it themselves, right? So where does this money come from? This money comes from people who are hoping that their donations are going to get them influence. Look at Sam Bankman-Fried. Are you familiar with the guy from FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange that went down?
That guy that got busted for all that. Oh, well, his shit blew up and everybody's fucked kind of guy. Yeah, I know him.
He was one of the biggest political contributors in the last election. One of the biggest contributors to both parties of this stolen money. But now all these people have lost their money in FTX. Is anybody going back to the politicians saying, listen, that $500,000 Sam Bankman-Fried gave you for your campaign, we need that money back because we need it back. We need to get the victims. We need to make the victims whole. You're not going to hear that. That's not going to happen. And this guy might.
They tried that Adobe on you yesterday, them fuckers.
And let's tell the people. I was just going to tell you quickly the power. The power of complaining in social media, the value. As I was talking about yesterday, I tried to cancel my Photoshop subscription with Adobe. And they told me that I could cancel it, but I would have to pay $140 cancellation fee. Now, I wasn't canceling it for any other reason than the fact that it was causing a lot of problems inside my computer, this software. A lot of freezing, a lot of issues.
Say it, DoktorHigh. It sucked.
Well, yeah, for me it did. I think for a lot of other people it doesn't, but for me it did. For some reason, it didn't work well for me. So I just wanted it out so I could continue about my affairs. And they wanted this money. So this morning, as I'm going through Facebook, I see an Adobe Creative Cloud sponsored ad. So I drop a comment in the ad, and I say in the comment my experience from yesterday. Well, I'm telling you, within 3 minutes, I had a message from Adobe.
1, 2, 3.
Very quickly, I had a message from Adobe, and they asked me to detail what email my account was in and tell them what happened. So I did. And they got back to me and they said, listen, this is what we can do for you. We can close out your account, and we will, as a courtesy, charge you no cancellation fees.
So kind of like hush money.
Well, basically, they don't want me to continue to post on their sponsored ads, right? Which I'll do.
Right.
I'll do. I understand the power of social media. Social media is all powerful these days. More powerful than news, more powerful than television, more powerful than radio.
You guys up there, please write nice
when
stuff
you
over
have
there.
an issue with a company that's not treating you right, use your social media to put them out there, because it will get back to them and they will contact you to rectify the problem. You know,
or they will
absolutely.
run and hide.
Don't be afraid of these companies. Don't let them bully you or push you around. You know, they don't have the right to do it, but they'll take all the advantage they can. You know, where I'm at, looks like 1 ounce of flour is anywhere from 50 to 140.
Most is under 100. See, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty much where you're at in Canada too.
Say to you, Alrisha, if you could join us later after this show back in Discord, I would love to talk to you for a couple minutes about that, so we can get an idea where it's located and how far the closest dispensary is and all that. That would be wonderful.
That should be simple. Google.
Yeah.
Google. Figure out. Google Maps is awesome, right? If you figure out where you want to go, where you're going, and then you put in there, you look for a dispensary in Michigan on the way, it'll give you one that's really close. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
But
I think there's one called. Hold up, Dr. High. I heard in a song one time from my friend Afro Man. Not really friends. I heard in one of his songs there's a thing called Weed Maps.
There is.
Where you can you put it in and it'll tell you the closest or the most local dispensary near you at all times. I've never tried it, but I heard about it from my friend Afro.
Yeah, Weed Maps have been around for a while. Oh, I know that area. I used to go there quite a bit. Has the drinking water improved in Flint? Because I know it was a big problem for a long time. Have they done anything about that?
We don't talk about Bruno.
Who's Bruno?
Flint, Michigan water.
Oh, that's Bruno?
That's how the United States takes care of it. We just don't talk about it. Shh, they're
Oh,
fine.
okay.
They're going to be fine. Their water doesn't matter.
Okay. You know, it's like here, right? This is a pretty sad state of affairs, but we have the First Nations here, which is the native population, the indigenous who've been here a long time before us, right? And they still keep them. They still have reservations, but some of these reservations in Canada access to good water, clean water. It's backward ass in a country as modern as we're supposed to be. There should be nobody that doesn't have access to good water. It's essential. You know what I mean? It's essential. Like, how is it even possible that they get away with it?
I don't even want to. We don't talk politics and shit like that. We try not to stay on politics at all. The only politics we'll talk is weed legalization. And
well, we can touch on it time to time.
Yeah, but we'll touch on anything. Yeah, but I mean, overall, the radio show, the program. But yeah, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous that we're worried about so many other things and not worried about water for people that live in Flint, Michigan. I'm just like blown beyond my mind. It's just stupid. But anyway.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, because I lived in Windsor, Alrisha. For 25 years, I lived in Windsor. So I'm very familiar with Michigan. I've been all over there and spent a lot of my misspent youth in Detroit, going to the clubs and the concerts, and lots of it.
Well, we love you, Alrisha. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the back room. I don't know how long you're hanging. We're good as far as I'm concerned. I got plenty of stories still up there. I mean, if you got to go, we go. But you know, the show's been flying by. Well, if you want to read a story or you want to start talking,
why not?
I'm going to go away from this one because cannabis-based medicine. All right, here we go. Cannabis-based medicine shows promising results in treating generalized anxiety disorder. Cannabis-based medical products might help to improve symptoms. What the fuck word is that? Severity. Severity. Oh, severity. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. My vision's horrible, so I blame that. Sleep quality and health-related quality of life in those with anxiety, according to new research published in a journal the findings highlighted that the need for further research, including randomized controlled trials to investigate the effectiveness of these products. Anxiety disorders are widespread. Mental health conditions affecting a significant number of individuals worldwide. Generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, is a common form of anxiety characterized by persistent worry and accompanied by physical and mental symptoms. GAD can have a negative impact on the quality of life and is associated with increase in suicidal and completed suicidality. I guess that's that word.
Yeah.
The current first-line pharmacological treatments for GAD in the UK include selective serotonin, very great, fucking all big fucking weird words.
SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Yes, SSRIs, very nice. And other medications. Are you reading the same article? Can I stop and you can just finish it? Or
no, I'm not reading the article.
Oh, okay. A substantial
I've just done enough
percentage of individuals do not respond to these treatments, and SSRIs can take several weeks to be effective and may have significant side effects. Thus, there is a need for new treatment options, especially for individuals who do not benefit from current pharmaceutical options. Oh my God. I just opened up the rest.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like cannabis,
that's it. Yep.
Cannabis isn't the cure, but it can definitely make a difference, and you have to at least give it an opportunity to see whether it does. You know what I mean? It may not help, but if you don't try, you don't know, and it just may help. So the risk is great. It is less than the reward, and that's the way all decisions should be made, is based upon risk and reward.
Yeah, I agree. You
know? And the potential of including cannabis therapy in your medical treatment outweighs the risk of using cannabis. So it's worth finding out, and it won't take you long to learn. It won't be like somebody putting on Wellbutrin or Xanax or any of these things and saying to you, all right, it's going to take a couple of weeks before you start to really notice the effects and things like that. Cannabis, you'll know.
Makes you fat and crazier. Oh, I may have had an experience with Wellbutrin in my day.
Yeah.
No more.
No, you know, like it's a fact that maybe for some things, pharmaceutical medications are the right choice. But
you know what scares me, Dr. High?
Be the right choice too.
You know what scares me is that Wellbutrin was given to me as a quit smoking item way back, and then again to me for bipolar disorder in a later life.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, how is one medicine good for helping quit smoking, but also good for anxiety and depression or whatever? You know, bipolar.
Well, that's like this what's it called? Ozempic. I don't recall what its actual original prescribed use is, but now they're starting to use it for weight loss. They're starting to prescribe it to people for weight loss, but that wasn't its initial intention. So, yeah, what they're doing is they're taking some drugs and they're.
Well, I think it was for diabetes, and I mean weight loss is all part of diabetes, and I think it was to help control your blood sugar, but then people were actually losing weight from it. And it was, and they just recently, I think that's the one they just recently tried to give me, but I'm going to try it again once I can financially afford to buy the proper foods that you need to have.
That's the other problem in the States, right?
Yeah, well, you can't.
I mean, you get sick in the States, financially, it can cripple you.
Oh,
in America,
you want to eat healthy, if you want to eat healthy in America, you're going to pay out your nose.
Well, that's the first thing. But if you're not healthy, you pay out your nose too. You know what I mean? Unless you have really good insurance, it can be
it's
a real struggle to afford those
screw you either way. I mean, it's just a do or die. Don't
And you know they don't like it, right?
Do you on the way
There
in?
was
Do you on the way out?
There was a group in New York who were organizing bus trips for seniors to cross into Quebec and see a doctor and get their medications at a pharmacy in Quebec. Because what you would pay $500 for in the States, we pay $50. Right? It's 10% of the cost of drugs in Canada.
And I'm not trying to make a joke about this or anything, but I'm sure we'll be doing the same shortly for abortion. You know, like,
well, yeah,
they're going to be coming. You know,
the point of this one,
if it keeps going the way it's going,
that,
you know.
Well, some pharmaceutical companies became aware of this happening, and they actually threatened the pharmaceutical or the pharmacy in Canada, the pharmacy chain. Actually, they said, "Listen, if you continue to fill these prescriptions for American citizens, we simply won't ship you the drugs." So they didn't like it at all that American citizens were coming over to Canada and picking up their prescriptions on this side of the border and getting away with that discounted price, because our government doesn't allow pharmaceutical companies to make the profit the same way here. You know what I mean? So, and the pharmaceutical companies didn't like that. And they said, listen, if you're going to supply these medications to U.S. citizens, then we're just not going to give you the medication. What do you want to do? You know what I mean? What choice do you have at that point? So this is the psychology out there. This is the mentality that we're up against. You know, you know what we should really do?
Crazy.
We should do 2 hours of weed a day and do a 1 hour conspiracy show. And I bet you our membership and our viewership will go way up on the conspiracy.
Yeah, my last radio host that I worked with before I started my own, not the guy that I worked with, but the guy that got me started, and he started trying to do a conspiracy show, and he was getting people, but I'm not that type of guy. I don't want to sit here and fight and argue with people over conspiracies, and I get too angry. I think that would be unsafe. But if you want to do a conspiracy show on here, I will give you permission. You just have to get yourself a laptop that will work appropriately, and I will give you a number, and you can do the DoktorHigh conspiracy show. I don't care. I'm looking to fill.
That's all I need.
We'll talk about it.
I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're gonna get a tinfoil hat with the metal grate thing with the strainer on your head. Yeah, and a bra. Might as well do a little weird science while you're at it.
The reason I say this is, well, I was trying to figure out Amazon KDP, right? Kindle Direct Publishing.
DoktorHigh, hold on.
So
hold on. I think I gotta pump my cesspool. Oh my goodness. Somebody must be showering on the other side of the house. Smells like somebody just shit in here. That's the first time it's ever happened. I am sitting in a room full of septic tank. Oh my God. DoktorHigh, help. It's a green fog in here.
There's nothing I can do but laugh. See,
get out of the shower! You're killing me!
We can laugh at each other's misery.
Oh my God.
You better fire up a bong hit to try and cover up the smell.
I don't have enough hands, DoktorHigh. I gotta get up and turn the air conditioner on and open the fucking door. Holy shit.
What's up, Mr. Slow? How are you, beautiful? You're doing good. I know we were
like
talking about you earlier for a couple of days.
I feel like that green plant went on Bugs Bunny when it dies. You know, when
that's
the
funny.
plant would turn green and just die. The smell is that bad.
That's funny.
All right, it's clearing up.
That's some funny stuff.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, I gotta laugh at you.
I'm going to be a mouth breather for the next hour, guys.
Well, you'd rather taste it.
I don't know. I can't really taste nothing, but I can definitely smell it. Anyway,
so
I got more stories if you want me to look.
Hey, why is Robert calling us beautiful? I mean, it's real nice of him and all, but it's a little bizarre.
That's what they say over in the UK, I think.
Oh, really?
Well,
I don't know. That'd be news to me. I know they
Hold
talk
on,
about
hold on.
frocks and lorries and jumpers, but
Hold on, I'm going to try something here.
what, an exhaust fan?
Well, I need one of them. Damn, I should flip that on.
A new batch of rules that not
You see it and hear
everyone
it?
is happy about. Our
Yep.
senior reporter Chloe Aiello has more info on major moves for the industry in the state. Chloe, what can you tell us?
Hey there. Well, in their latest meeting, New York State regulators accomplished a number of things, announcing 50 additional adult use retail dispensary licenses, outlining a social and economic equity plan, and releasing long-awaited guidelines for medical cannabis operators to enter the adult use market. To that last point, the regulators confirmed previous reports that it will cost existing companies $20 million paid in installments to enter the market. It also establishes a timeline. They can open their first co-located adult use and medical dispensary after December 29th, 2023, the second and third after June 29th, 2024. Just for context, medical cannabis companies already have or are able to operate 8 medical cannabis shops in the state. They'll be allowed to co-locate adult use dispensaries at 3 of them. The goal by regulators is to ensure that they prevent a monopoly and ensure a wide variety of diverse players succeed in New York's industry. And in fact, most of the 10 existing medical cannabis operators in New York are among the biggest cannabis companies in the country, including Curaleaf, Green Thumb Industries, and Cresco Labs. And it goes without saying, they aren't too happy. In a statement, the New York Medical Cannabis Industry Association, which represents several of them, called the fee, quote, unprecedented and punitively high, saying, quote, it was clearly designed to eliminate vertical integration for medical and adult use product and is simply not economical. Regulators also approved the New York Social Equity and Economic Plan, which outlines how the state intends to design the state adult use market, built on principles like small business access, workforce support, regenerative local economic development, consumer education, and benefits for
that looks so good.
punitive cannabis laws. It has, however, received criticism for failing to make actual policy prescriptions and instead just outlining the need for equity. Now, when it comes to adult use dispensaries, a total of 215 provisional licenses have been issued so far, but the rollout of these actual stores has been very slow. There are only 9 operational licensed dispensaries across the entire state of New York. Back in February, Mayor Eric Adams estimated there were about 1,400 unlicensed dispensaries just in New York City alone. So that obviously presents a huge challenge to the legal dispensaries attempting to get on their feet. And regulators haven't been very successful in cracking down. But at the meeting, regulators outlined powers granted to them by Governor Kathy Hochul's budget to crack down. That includes civil penalties of up to $20,000 per day, product seizure, and powers for regulators to seek closing orders and commercial tenant removal. It also establishes new tax fraud crime for businesses that fail to pay taxes on cannabis products.
Okay, thanks to Chloe Aiello for that report.
Typical. So they're talking about how they want to be. They're talking about how they want to be inclusive and allow for nobody to control the market, right? So there's no monopolizing in the market. But as soon as you set a $20 million entry fee, you're guaranteeing exclusion from the market of a variety of players. You know what I mean? Because who the hell's got $20 million to do that? If you're not a big company, you can't absorb that cost. So really, you're not allowing them. And then they talk about social and economic equity plans. Well, what does that mean? Really, all it should mean is if you're a cannabis patient, then your medicine should be as cheap as possible, if not free. And allow the recreational use to compensate the financial loss through the medical side. That's really what they should be doing is taking the revenue from the recreational use and putting it towards covering the cost for people who use medicinally.
I love that idea. I think that is a brilliant idea because that would help me significantly. But would they regulate that? They'd be like, you can only have this much now because somebody else is paying for it.
Well, no, they shouldn't, because your access to cannabis should be based upon a doctor's recommendation of X number of grams per day, per week, or whatever the time period is in the prescription.
Not to cut you off, but then that leads to us finding those doctors that are going to give you the right kind of prescription again, like the opiate doctors. You know what I mean? You're going to be looking for that. My doctor gives me, 7 grams a day. Another doctor's giving out 28 grams a day. I'm going to that doctor that's giving out 28 grams a day before I'm going to the doctor that's giving out 7. You know what I mean?
Right. But there does come a point, right? Like, the only reason you need those massive weights is if you're using fresh plant material and juicing it. There's no other method of ingestion of cannabis that has that requirement. As a matter of fact, most people could not consume more than 7 grams a day through traditional methods, right? Smoking joints, the bong, vaporizer, whatever it is. There are outliers, but for the most part, 7 grams a day would be a really high-end number. And I think a lot of people could suffice on 3.5 grams a day. You know what I mean? I think that's sufficient for most. That's a good 7 joints for many people.
He is not a doctor.
No, I'm not a doctor, but I've been around for quite some time.
I'm just kidding. You're ruining everything, DoktorHigh. I want at least 7 grams a day.
One thing you learn about me is I just talk straight, though. I just talk about really what.
I see what you're saying. I'm just making jokes, but like I get what you're saying. I agree. I mean, I would prefer. I mean, I could definitely do 7 grams a day, no issue. I would roll 7 1-gram joints, and throughout the day, I would be happy throughout the whole day, and that would be perfect. 7 grams a day would be great. I would love that.
Yeah, because you got to remember, your days are usually only about 16 hours, right?
Right, especially if it's coming to me for free, because the other people that are getting it in recreational states are paying so little, but they're making so much, or whatever, however it
what
works
they should
out.
be using is the tax revenue.
Right. Well, whatever. Yeah. But I like the idea, like in that song, again, my friend Afro Man, and the positive side of because I got high, he says, the state bought 5 more schools because I got high. The tax revenue, blah, 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 because I got high, and it's all positive things about why he got high. He changed the song and made a totally different mix because the first one really is kind of a sad song, I'm a fucking loser and I got high, so then he made a positive remix and said all the good things about getting high, and I love it. It's a great song, but anyway, sorry.
But getting high doesn't make you a loser.
Well, no, but
then you're getting high, then that's that.
Oh, but the song was, the song led to, made you think.
I know the song.
I sat around the house and got pregnant because I got high. I'm making up words, but
yeah.
It was, it was funny. It's a great song, but
like, to me, that's logical. You can't do that with any other industry, right? Like alcohol, there is no medicinal alcohol. So you couldn't take taxation from alcohol and turn it over to benefit medical alcohol patients because they don't exist. So cannabis is an outlier like that because you have recreational use and you have medical use. And there's really no other substance like that, right? There isn't. Think about another substance that's used both medically and recreationally. Go ahead. What are you thinking?
I don't remember because I'm high. I have a very bad memory because I got high. But have we discussed alcohol and how the sales have probably decreased in all these states that
they have
become recreational? Because I personally, I made the decision to go to just strictly weed on my own before, my state's still not recreational. But I feel like as soon as the state becomes recreational, alcohol will be a lost cause. You'll have your usual friends that like to take their time and partake at the alcohol, and not everybody's going to give it up, obviously. but it'll be a lot less alcohol, I think.
Yeah. Well, in Canada, they've seen the impact. There has actually been a measurable impact. Yeah, like not a major impact, but a measurable impact. Right? So they have seen the difference. Maybe sales have gone down 5 or 6 or 7%, maybe, or something. You know what I mean? It's not like it's like 50% or anything, but it's enough that the alcohol companies are seeing a difference since legalization.
And that's why all of a sudden we have issues because, like, you know,
alcohol is a burden on
we don't
society.
want to lose our money. We don't want to lose our money.
Alcohol is a burden on society. I can tell you, I spent about 2.5 years training to become a certified alcohol and substance abuse counselor. So I did everything required in that program except the practical hours, right? I completed that program. I just didn't ever go into practice with it. I left that program with a 98% average over those 2 years. And one of the
you didn't have much else to do besides study.
I didn't, but at the same time, I learned. And
of course,
it's the fact that's not stated, but 65% of all untimely death, of all death that's not due to old age, has a relationship to alcohol. 65%.
Whether
that's
it's
a massive
cirrhosis of the liver or kidney disease or
car crashes.
Yep.
They have a relationship to alcohol, but because alcohol wasn't the actual cause of death, it doesn't end up on death certificates as death due to alcohol, right? Automotive accident, gunshot, stabbing, whatever.
Meanwhile, it was at a party where everybody was fucking drunk and somebody pulled out a gun and shot everybody.
Exactly. Right. But they don't publicize these facts. People don't know that this is actually the reality of it. And alcohol is pushed everywhere, and it's acceptable everywhere, and it's advertised on TV, and they make flavors that are appealing to children, and they do all this kind of stuff. And here comes cannabis, and cannabis is the fucking demon. You know?
Right. But meanwhile, it saves and helps people every single day. It just drives me nuts. When you said alcohol, and that leads me to my old story again about, you know, that's fucking bullshit because they're trying to take our vapes away that have that flavor. I don't know if Canada still has flavored vapes, but a lot of our states in the United States, mine is still trying to fight the fight, but we still have flavor, but it's bullshit. They're like, you can't have flavored vapes, but meanwhile they got cotton candy alcohol, you know, every fucking flavor, candy, this and that, alcohol. But because our flavored vape and trying to help us not smoke cigarettes, you know, I went from, you know, 24 nicotine when I first started down to fucking 2 right now. I'm at 2. I mean, it's taken me 10 years, and by choice. I think that if I went and continued, I stopped at 3 and was like, you know, I'm pretty good here. I'm not gonna quit because I got that oral fixation, but I'm gonna quit now because my doctor told me about that aneurysm thing. And I'm like, yo, I don't want it to come. I'm not going to try to help it come. So I'll help quit.
Yeah. You know? No, that's the thing, right? Alcohol is bad. The more, you know, as we've seen over the years, they used to say, okay, you know, 4 to 5 drinks a week is okay. You know what I mean? That's an acceptable amount of alcohol with no health consideration. But within the last couple of months, there's been plenty of news stories that say no alcohol is good. Alcohols are involved in causing cancers. There's a lot of negative consequences outside of the societal consequences.
All my life, I wasn't born Italian, but I was raised Italian. My parents got divorced. My mom married an Italian man. All my life, I heard how 2 glasses of wine every day is supposed to be good for you. It's healthy for you, you know.
You know, there is actually an exception to what I'm saying, and that is red wine. Now, if you look at,
you look like an ass.
Well, no, but it's I didn't bring it up, but because you brought it up, I will. They do studies in countries where they have a lot of longevity, right? In the Mediterranean Sea, in Italy and France, and those countries that border on the Mediterranean, and these people live the longest in the world, right? They're living into their late 90s and 100 and 100 plus. And they say that has a lot to do with having that glass of red wine every day, because red wine has a compound in it called resveratrol. And what resveratrol does is, if you look at a strand of DNA, at the bottom of that strand, it has little like tentacles, right, that hang off the strand that are called telomeres. And those telomeres, as we age, get shorter and shorter and shorter. They start to fray. If you think of them like a rope, they fray, up until your time of death. But this resveratrol has something about it that slows down the fraying of the telomeres on that piece of DNA. So they say that they believe that is a contributing factor to the longevity. It's due to the diet and the inclusion of that glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine a day. So as an Italian, that's quite possible. Yeah.
All right, Dr. High, we got to talk. This is a secret. Can we get that resveratrol and extract it from wherever we get it from, and then add it to our terpenes in weed?
Well, from what I understand, I think it's only in red wine. I think there's only this only
But it's got
exists.
to come from like the grape. No, wouldn't it come from like the grapes of a red wine or whatever?
It could come from the fermentation process too. It could result from. Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about it, but I do know about resveratrol for sure. And
Right. Let's research this. We're on to something here. We could be the next. I don't know, but we could be that.
Well, back to the conspiracy thing. Nobody would want us synthesizing that and having people live longer. See, like, it's not about making people healthy. It's about maintaining sickness.
Right.
That's what they want to do. They want to maintain unhealthy. They don't want healthy. The only people who want healthy is that top
we're
1%.
healthy. If we all lived, right? If we all lived forever, this planet would be, we'd get too heavy and we'd sink.
Right.
So they have to get rid of us. They have to pawn us off. And the best way to do it is just to keep us at a medium pace until we die, and then let us go. But if we keep burying us in this planet, it's not going to get heavy sooner or later and sink? Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. All the bones are going to make our planet.
There has to be is if we changed our practices and brought some of the things back, then we could really have a very successful planet of everything we need on this planet for everybody who currently exists here to live a good life, right? To have a roof over their head, to have food in their stomach, things like that. But everything is profit driven, right? And profit before people. So they don't do it. It's like hemp. Hemp is a miraculous plant. Hemp can do so much for this planet. Forget about weed. Let's not even talk about weed. Let's just talk about hemp. You don't get high from it, but it has like 50,000 uses.
Why don't we, as the leaders in WTHC radio and the world in weed and innovation, I'm trying to make up some good words here. Why don't we lead that into innovation? Like we need to just stop them. We have to stop them from telling us no and just start growing the fucking hemp and doing what we fucking want. I mean, we have people taking over our capital because they think that somebody won an election. But meanwhile, we have millions and millions of people on both sides of the colors of the thing saying that we want weed, and what we're sitting here letting them tell us what we can do and what we can't do.
First American money. First American bills were printed on hemp paper. George Washington, all those guys who signed the Declaration of Independence, grew hemp. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
They all did.
I wish I could play that song right now. I have that Hemp Hemp Hooray song, which is it talks all about that. It tells you George Washington used it for his tooth decay, for pain. He was disappointed that he missed his crop because of the war, and he had to wait another whole season before he was able to grow again. It's crazy. And now they're telling us we can't use it. It's fucking nuts.
No. And you know what it is, right?
I mean, we have so many groups and so many people out there that want to be and want to make it happen. If we all just came together and said, fuck you guys, we're doing it. Fuck.
Yep.
We
could. We could, but the problem is a lot of society is like this, right? They're only looking in their own lane. They're only concerned for themselves. It doesn't matter. As long as my life is okay and my lane's clear, I'm not worried about it. I'll tell you a little prison story that demonstrated this perfectly.
Does it include butt sex?
No.
Oh, damn it.
There came a time when they were trying to remove a privilege from us. They're trying to remove the weights. And in prison, weights are pretty important, right? So they were trying to remove the weights. And guys started going crazy, damaging things, doing stuff.
I feel like I remember
They
this.
didn't get it.
Was it a big story? I feel like I remember it.
Big enough story, I suppose. But this is the whole thing, and people don't get it. Like I told some of these leaders in the institution about this situation, I said, this is what you need to do. Tomorrow, when they open the doors to the cells for breakfast, you don't come out. You stay. You don't go to the commissary. You don't do anything. You stay in your cell. When work call comes, you stay in your cell. You don't cause any trouble. You don't do anything. Stay in your cell. Because what happens is in the Bureau of Prisons, when they have to go into a lockdown situation, they have to inform the media, right? There's information that has to come out about the lockdown. So now they have to inform the media that they have to lock the place down because the prison's not going to understand 1,300 guys united together. What they expect when when they're united, it's a violent outburst, right? They don't expect it peaceful to do anything. Now, inmates run institutions. They do all the repair work. They do all the plumbing. They do all the painting. They do all the lawn maintenance. They provide the food. They make the food. They do everything. Cops just oversee it. So now the institution has to provide you with your meals. No inmates are doing the job. Nobody's spending their $300 an individual in the commissary. Nobody's spending their $300 on the telephone. The institution is losing money.
Nobody's mowing the lawn.
Nobody's doing any of it. So now, when they have to inform the media of the situation inside the institution, the media says, was there a fight? Was it a gang fight? Was there violence? Did somebody die? No.
Why are
What's
they
happening?
doing this?
They won't come out of their cells. Are they damaging the property? Are they causing? No, they just won't come out of their cells. Well, why won't they come out of their cells? Well, because we're trying to remove weights from the institution.
Because we're dicks.
Oh, but the inmates aren't revolting and causing a big problem there. No, they just won't come out of their cells. So, but you can't implement that because there's always that guy who doesn't give a fuck, who wants to have his chocolate bars and his chips and his cookies in his cell. So he's going to the commissary. There's that guy who wants
commissary.
there's that guy who wants to get on the phone and fight with a woman who he ain't going to see for 20 years because he wants money. There's always these guys with their own agendas, right? So they've been very effective, and COVID was perfect for this. Because what COVID did was it isolated us. It isolated us. And the only way that we have strength and power is in numbers. And you have to have everybody shut.
That's what I was just going to say. That's what I was just going to say. Everything you're leading to is strength in numbers. And if you have the numbers, instead of marching on, well, I mean, everybody has their reasons for what they do. But, if we took everybody from both sides of this party, this stupidity we call a government, and we just went there and said, listen, we're done, and there's 1 billion or 2 billion people on their front lawn, I think that they're going to get the point, It's like, I mean,
get 1 out of 10 people in the U.S. to go to Washington. Just 1 in 10. 10%. You'll have 35 million people in Washington. What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
They're going to say, yes, we need to make this and just sit down. We don't have to do anything. Just sit down and smoke weed.
Don't do anything. You just shut them down.
We don't have to
Until
talk
they
to each
capitulate.
other. We don't have to fight with each other. We don't
Yep.
have to
And
discuss
then
anything. Just
they
pass
did this
joint-
in Canada. They did this in Canada with the Freedom Convoy a couple of years ago. They jammed up Ottawa with all the truck drivers and all the people down there. They shut down that city, and they wouldn't move. They were peaceful. They weren't causing a problem. They were protesting for their rights. And what did the government do? They found out who the organizers were, and they froze their bank accounts. They seized their money. They stopped them from having access to funds. So that was the only thing they could do. And then what do? You got no money. You know, they started to GoFundMe. They raised millions of dollars. The government blocked it. Came in Bitcoin. Government blocked it. Shut them out at the banks because they don't want us to be united because it goes against their agenda. Their agenda is total control. So when we try to break that agenda, they don't like it because politicians don't work for us. They work for themselves. They don't give a fuck about us.
I learned that more and more every day. I learned that more and more every day.
You get that odd outlier, but it's pretty rare. They're not interested in us as citizens because they realize you can't run a factory if everybody's the boss. Right? So you have to have a boss and you have to have labor.
Upper class, lower class.
That's right. And they don't want a mix between the two. That's why really good food's expensive because who can afford the expensive food? The executives, the people who run the companies.
And if you don't suck the right dick, then you're going to be lower class.
That's right. Who gets the best health care? The wealthy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So there's an intent. There's an intent. And I do understand that, yes, you do have to have people to work. And yes, you do have to have people to lead. But it could be much more equitable than it is. And if all these powerful people came together and decided to put their energy into doing good for the planet and good for humanity, it could be done easily. It really could be done. There could be enough food produced.
Unfortunately, like you said, everybody has their own fucking agenda, and it's all about me, all about all about number one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, they're just fucking the rest of us.
Yep. Yeah. So, it's up to us, right? We can sit and cry about it all we want, but if we're not willing to band together and do something, then it's not going to happen.
Well, that's why I started WTHC and WEED, because I figure if I can have some sort of a platform and we can just start building it, it'll happen. And we can just keep getting bigger and bigger and spreading the gospel.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But won't happen, right? Won't happen.
Unfortunately.
It's going to go the other way.
Everybody.
That's what they're doing now.
All right, I got one last story. I'm not going to read the whole story, but it's about 5 drinks, summer drinks that are laced with marijuana or, infused with marijuana.
Right.
Number 5, it's called Incognito Spritz Cucumber Mint Lemonade.
Nice.
That's number 5. I'm not going to read them because there's like 20 paragraphs to each one. Olala Mango Cannabis Infused Craft Soda, number 4.
Mango's a good indicator that it'll become more bioavailable. Mango's good.
Olala, it's called OLALA, number 4. It's an infused craft soda. Yep. Mango and strawberry, oranges, it looks like. Number 3, Sunstone Spritz. Cannabis infused sparkling beverage. Peach passion fruit is this one that I'm looking at. Number 2, Claus Mezzrole. KLAUSMEZZROLE. Claus Mezzrole. Cannabis infused beverage. It doesn't really say much more. I mean, I could read about it, but I'm not gonna. And the last one, number 1, Fable, FABLE, Fable Into the Woods.
We know a Fable.
Premium cannabis beverage, Fable. stone fruit pine rosemary is that flavor. And that's basically the top 5 infused cannabis drinks out there right now in the world, I guess. Yeah, you got a little crazy over here, Fungi.
I like the beverages. Like down here on the Reds.
I haven't tried them yet.
You can buy root beer, ginger ale, cream soda, cola. You can buy it all infused. All of it. And they're actually pretty good. I really like them. They're about $6 a can, but
so I was telling Mrs. Hippie about her experience and how we discussed it and how 65 milligrams of infused drink is way, way too much for an amateur like her. And she said, oh, and I kind of explained it to her and broke it down. And I said, maybe next time, because I'm trying to keep her, entertained with this, because I really, we, that's how we met. We were high and we fell in love high, and that's the woman I met. And I remember, and she came back the other day. And it was so nice to have her back. She was smiling and she didn't yell at me. She was
giggling.
Has to
try something that's
that's what I'm trying,
right?
That's what I'm pushing. I'm pushing the whole, all right, well, maybe next time we just get you something with like 10 milligrams and see how you feel. And if 10, so I'm working it.
Because a bad experience can put you off, right?
Yeah, well, and she's scared again now. She's scared again. She's like, I don't know if I'll ever do it again. I'm like, so now I'm trying to retrain her, and I'm saying DoktorHigh said 65 was way too much for somebody like you, especially after having the surgery. I'm sorry?
Yeah, that too. I said 65 is a lot for me.
Right. I told her that. I said 65 is more than what he takes to get himself knocked out. I said, I think he said 50 is what he takes to knock himself, to make himself feel great, I said, and you took 65, girl. No wonder you were a mess. And she started to understand it. So I'm hoping if I work with her and we start slow, we're going to get her like a 10 or 15, and then, see if that's her perfect. I don't want her to be blown out. I'm not looking for her, but I'm just tired of the yelling and the screaming. If I can get her a little buzz and make her smile a little every once in a while, for crying out loud, this relationship might go 50 years. I might want to stick around.
Just a nice relaxation. That's all.
Right. Yeah. She's just
5-10 milligrams for me. More in line.
So stressed out. And I mean, it's understandable. She has a lot of shit going on in her world, and our world, our lives is in the last year has been turned upside down and flipped, and so she's, she's been the backbone of this family, holding us all together. And I love her and she's amazing, but she is a cranky ass bitch. Woo! Yelling at me constantly. I can't even shit without fucking being yelled at. Anyway, I love you, Mrs. Hippie.
There we go.
What do you want to do? I got to do another commercial. I don't even think I did the last
one. On that note, there's no more appropriate way to end the show. I love you, Mrs. Hippie. Perfect.
I love you, Mrs. Hippie. Hopefully she doesn't watch this.
We'll be back
tomorrow. Thank you so very much. Tomorrow is Friday. It is our Friday High Day show. We're going to get baked, and then he'll be off for the weekend, but hopefully I haven't scared him away, and he'll come back again on Monday.
We'll see you next week.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not letting you go. It's too late. You're in my spider web now. You're in the spider web now.
I enjoy this.
Me too. I absolutely enjoy it. Even if we only have 9 people up there, they'll be there. They're coming. It was up at 11 or 12. Absolutely.
Takes time.
Yep. Don't forget, everybody, go check out the Fun Guy. He's coming up at 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific. That's tonight. Are you coming up now, Fun Guy? Not tonight. Yeah, tonight. Not now. Sometimes he comes on in the day. But
today Mr. Slow, right back at you.
You guys are, I know, dance party night. I'm sorry. Everybody out there on Live 365 and tune in, thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Stick around. I'll be here for the next couple hours playing some tunes. I'm going to play a commercial. DoktorHigh will say goodbye while we're playing the commercial.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening with it.
Check out Vern on TikTok.
You don't have
that
to
you
jump out,
have me hooked.
you know.
She's amazing. And everything
All right,
she
man.
makes on
I
TikTok,
will
she
see you
sells
tomorrow.
This is
at
here.
You Have
I'm
Me Hooked
doing it.
23 at
Doing
Etsy.
it.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You an idea? Like, I would like this to be made.
Our boxes
She can
went
make
black.
She can make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out.
You there?
You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy.
Okay, man.
I guess he left.
This is your time.
All right, guys, I love you
Maybe
all.
choose
Thank
to
you so much for
figure
being
it
here.
out.
Please remember to
You're gonna go out
share,
there.
like, pound
You're gonna
that
start
share
here.
thing, like that
It's up to
other
you.
thing.
So what are you
Subscribe
gonna
to
do?
that other thing. I
gonna go
love you
grocery
all.
shopping.
Thank you so much.
Clean.
We'll be back
Be there
tomorrow at
emotionally and
10 a.m.
physically. You gotta dig deeper.
Mwah.
Drop your
Peace.
physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy.
Hang up, dumbass.
No, you won't. Because